Hey guys, it's Joe, and welcome officially to the final episode of MLB The Show 25 Orioles franchise. But we are in Diamond Dynasty because this is the bonus episode, the Hall of Fame episode, where we are in Diamond Dynasty. We're going to play some 3-inning games across some modes in Diamond Dynasty, and we're going to celebrate the players that made Orioles franchise special, the players that led us to wins, that were most valuable. Of course, we have some other players that were just notable names to highlight as well. I have all their stats, man. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna show you all the things, but first we got to do a recap of everything that happened in Orioles franchise to get a little perspective on why these players are so important. So let me go over to my stat sheet where I've been keeping track of everything, but let me switch to the outcomes. So this is the Orioles franchise outcomes sheet where I can show you everything that happened in Orioles franchise. And of course, this is all the I have things on the side that show, like, the same stuff that it shows you in franchise. Z is clinched division, best record. Y clinched division. X clinched the postseason. W, your wildcard team. So this is just the, 20 to 24, the real life World Series, not important. But then we move on to 2025 when the franchise had officially started. We beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 4-0. We swept them in the World Series in a flawless World Series. I'm trying to remember actually if it was flawless. I think it was. I don't think we lost any games that year. We went on a flawless run to the World Series and we swept the Dodgers. At the time, of course, reigning World Series champs, and we defeated them, sweeping them with a 98-61 record in our first year of rebuilding the franchise, our fourth World Series in franchise history. Then, 2026, we went back-to-back, this time over the Milwaukee Brewers, who had fought their way there from 81 and 81. We were 109 and 53 with the best record in our division, and we swept them as well. Another good year. Then we went through a little bit of the drought. 2027, we ended up going 102 and 60. We clinched our division, but we ended up losing the ALDS in 5 games to the Mariners. We ended up giving a home run, Felix Bautista to Lazaro Montes. He hit a game-winning walk-off home run that sent us to Game 5, and we lost at Camden Yards, unfortunately. And the Mariners ended up going all the way to the World Series. They ended up beating, I don't remember who they beat in the CS. I want to say it might have been Cleveland, but I really can't remember. But they ended up facing the Dodgers, who were back yet again, and the Dodgers ended up getting their third World Series championship of the 2020s. After that year, we came back at 28, tried to make some more changes and whatnot, but just wasn't our year. We did make it to the ALCS, 106 wins, 56 losses, and we clinched the best record in the league. But we ended up losing the ALCS to the Cleveland Guardians. They ended up going on to beat the Dodgers yet again in the World Series. The Dodgers had made it back. Unfortunately, they are the only one I don't have their number. Because, yeah, also forgot to mention 27. Mariners lost to the Dodgers in 7 games. They went to Game 7 and ended up losing it. Cleveland Guardians, Los Angeles Dodgers, I simmed through and then skipped the offseason from the calendar, so unfortunately I don't know the amount of games it actually was. Maybe someone would know the schedule better than I would and be able to figure that out just from looking at the calendar itself. But either way, the Guardians were World Series champions. Then we go to 2029, the true start of the dynasty. We won 108 games, 54 losses, clinched the best record in the league. I think we had even the best record in baseball. A lot of these years, I think we had the best record in baseball. This was, of course, the year we signed Riley Green, coming off of his World Series victory with the Cleveland Guardians, and he was fantastic. We had a lot of good guys in the lineup, which we'll talk about when we get to the players. Beat the Dodgers 4-2 in 6 games. Then, 2030, back to the World Series, 114-win team, and we did make it back to the World Series, but it was tough against those Dodgers. We had a little bit of missteps there with the simming fuck-ups, and we ended up just playing Game 7 on Hall of Fame, and I did end up winning that one. We were up 2-0 late, then 3-0 on a walk, I believe it was, and then Dorian Soto, we pinch hit him. He had a grand slam that pretty much put us up to a place unreachable. They were not going to come back, and we ended up beating the Dodgers in Game 7. And the Dodgers, yeah, they just continued to get back to the World Series, and so did we, 2031. But we swept them that year, 108 wins, 54 losses, another clinching the best record in the league. And we beat the Dodgers in a sweep in 2031, including our Game 2, where we climbed back from a 7-0 deficit and won 8-7. And we were being no-hit, actually, through the 5th, which I don't think I realized when I was playing it on the stream. But yeah, we were being no-hit until the 5th, until the Jack Caglione home run, broke up the no-no, which I think something similarly happened in real life actually with the Orioles and Dodgers. I think they were being no-hit until Jackson broke it up with a home run, so kind of a funny real life parallel. But yeah, we ended up winning that year in 2031 to go for the three-peat, the first three-peat since the Yankees had done it from 1998 to 2000. Then we were back in the World Series in 2032, back against the Milwaukee Brewers. It went all the way to Game 7. I was really struggling to hit on my own. The team was just in a slump hitting wise, but we did our managing, and we ended up coming back and winning Game 6 to force a Game 7 at home. Um, and then we ended up winning Game 7 in a close, contentious race because I think we were down 3-0 early. Then we had a 2-run home run, I want to say, from Roman Anthony. I might be getting some of these details wrong, so watch the series if you want, the full context. Everything is labeled, so you can find exactly what you're looking for. But either way, in a close game, 103-59 that year, and we managed to win our fourth straight World Series win for the four-peat, and we were looking for 5 straight. However, it would be thwarted. Another solid year in 2033, 110 win season. I mean, that is our second best record in the entire franchise of me playing. But we made it to the World Series against the Mets. We did force a Game 6 when being down, but we just couldn't get hits to fine grass, couldn't come back against the Mets, and they ended up beating me. And they won in 6 games, the first team to really thwart us in the World Series. That one stung. That one did sting, and losing to the Mets, especially as a Yankees fan, and all the. I mean, I don't even really hate the Mets, and I've kind of mostly gotten over the Juan Soto thing. But like, there's still a little bit of a rivalry, of course. So, especially losing to the Mets, it was kind of tough, especially since I hadn't seen the Yankees do anything in these franchises. So that was our World Series loss, our first World Series loss in a year we actually made it. Um, but then we were angry. We wanted revenge. We got back 2034. We go all the way 162. Great record. We have a pretty decent time in 2034. We played against Boston. I think we swept them in the DS because I got so sick of playing Boston in the DS that we simmed that shit. Um, and then we actually played game 1 against the Athletics in the CS, which was really cool to see the Athletics, this young team, come back into playoff contention. They haven't really been part of the playoffs in a long time. I don't think they've won a World Series, I think, since 89. And the last time I think they were in a World Series was 1990. So, yeah, it was fun. So we took game 1 in a pretty big blowout. Game 2, Robin Hayes closed, or I think I'm trying to remember if we won game 2. I don't remember. We might have lost it before going to Sacramento. I really can't remember. But we ended up closing out 2 games with Robin Hayes. We were on great track to just get out and beat them, and we did make it back to the World Series. And facing us down was, I think they were 89-73, the St. Louis Cardinals, but they had bested the they bested the Mets in a 5-game set. And the CS had went pretty deep. I can't remember if they played full series in like every single series they were in, but like Milwaukee was out, a team we had seen in the World Series a few times. The Dodgers were out. And after a while, at times we saw the Dodgers, I think, miss the playoffs in a couple situations. I can't even remember. That might have been a different franchise I did with like my friend, but either way, like the whole league had gotten flipped. Like Dodgers were out though, Brewers were out, the Mets were out. So no repeating champions. The teams that had dominated the mid 20s and most of the early 2030s were out. And this 89-73 Cardinals team stood amongst them all to get to the World Series, get back for the first time I think since 2014. Or is it 2013? Shit. Sorry. I don't remember right now. But the point is, they were back for the first time in a long time. But they were no match for us. 4-1 we ended up taking. We won game 1 in Camden Yards. We lost game 2, and then we didn't lose another game for the 3-game set in Busch Stadium. We did it, especially including a game. I think we had was it like a huge rally late in the game in a tie game. I can't remember if it's like we could have won and then they tied it. I really don't recall perfectly. But we ended up having a big late game rally in that one. Roman Anthony had a grand slam. So there were some exciting moments there. And then the next year, 2035, the last year of play, we had made it back to the playoffs in kind of a weird, rough year. I mean, I know it's weird to say rough when we were 104 and 58, but for a long time during the 2035 season, we had really big pitching issues, and Roman Anthony was underperforming, and the Red Sox were right behind us. And honestly, the Red Sox had dominated us for most of the season, so it was getting kind of scary, especially a team that we had dominated for most of the decade. But we did come out on top against the Red Sox in 5 games. We went to 7 games against the Mariners in the CS and came out on top there. And then we played the Giants, who had 109 wins. And once again, they just didn't stand a chance. 4-1. And the one game we lost, it would have been a sweep. The one game we lost was the game I physically lost playing it because my balls were getting, perfect dives on plays. Like the fielders, they were going straight to gloves, perfect lineouts. Like nothing was going right for me in that game, and I just kept giving up big hits to them. And then I had that situation pitching where I threw like 3 straight pitches in the zone, all called balls. It was rough. I was not happy about that, but we came back. We hit really well in the first couple innings of the next game, and then we simmed most of it, and we ended up closing it out. I want to say like 11-5, if it wasn't 9-5. And I think we had gotten a couple extra runs, but either way, we had beaten the San Francisco Giants to close out me playing in franchise, our 11th World Series victory. So we took the team from 3 total at the beginning to 11 total. We had won 8 World Series out of 9 appearances, I believe that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 8. Oh, yeah, 9. Yeah, we won 8 World Series out of 9 appearances, which is a fucking dynasty. We pretty much owned the late 2020s and then the half of 2030. I mean, we won from 30, 31, 32, and then 34, 35, and we were in the World Series in 33. So there was not a year that we missed the World Series in that time, besides also 2029. We ended up tying the Dodgers for an equal amount of World Series championships in the 2020s, winning 3, and they had also won 3. And we stopped their dynasty as they continued to build with guys like Kyle Tucker, with Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman. Like they were bringing in all these big names, and we were still able to beat them in a majority of years. Then we did a little post simming because we wanted to see when Gunnar Henderson retired. That took from 36 to 42. And during that time, we really were not a great team in the sim. I mean, like, for a while, we had, like, all these. We still were clinching our division, but, like, we just could not get over the hump in the playoffs. We just seemed to not be a playoff team. Lost in the CS against the Guardians. They ended up collecting another World Series win in 2036 over the Phillies. So the Phillies finally got over their humps to get into the World Series, but could not win it. Then the Giants got back to the World Series in 2037. We lost the ALDS. Houston finally back in the World Series for the first time in, at that point, like 15 years or whatever, around that. But they could not beat the Giants. The Giants did get their World Series victory only a couple years later. And then we move on to 2038. Diamondbacks got back to the World Series for the first time since 2023, and they finally got their second World Series victory over the Athletics, who had finally made it back. We lost the DS. I don't know if it was to them. I really didn't pay much attention to that stuff, of course, but it's in the video. You can go back and check it. But yeah, Diamondbacks got their second win. The Athletics still could not get back to their victorious ways from the late 80s. Then was our first really down year. We were a wild card team in 2039, 91, 71, kind of rebuilding. We ended up losing the wild card. And the Washington Nationals got back to the World Series for the first time since 2019. So literally 20 years from their first World Series appearance and victory. They would take it over the Chicago White Sox. Two teams that, when you start the franchise are bottom of the bottom. But they both made it to the World Series in 2039, which is fun. And yeah, the Washington Nationals take it in 7 games, which also, yeah, Cleveland Phillies 7 games as well. Then 2040, the Brewers got back to the World Series, and they finally got their World Series victory after all the heartbreak, the 2 heartbreaks against us, and other different playoff heartbreaks in different years, losing in the DS, losing in the CS, whatever it may be. They were finally able to make it back, and unfortunately, it was at the cost of the Athletics in 7 games, who could not get it done. And yeah, this year we were 90 and 72. So what was that? Yeah, we clinched the division. So like we did okay, but Yeah, we lost the CS to the Athletics that time. So just, again, couldn't get over. But then the most interesting thing was in 2041 and 2042, before Gunnar retired, the Orioles managed to win the World Series back to back without any of my input. Again, I put everything on auto. No trades, no free agent signings, really. I didn't adjust rosters. I didn't make transactions. I didn't move players between the minors and the majors. The Orioles just had built a good team of young guys from draft picks and whatnot, and I guess their trades and stuff to go back to back. So the first year, 2041, they were a wild card team. Our worst record we had seen in this entire sim up until that point, 87-75. And from the wild card, they managed to win it all against the Braves in 6 games, their 12th World Series victory. And then 2042, a much better year. This young team had rose to the occasion. Pretty much everyone had been gone at that point. Dominguez had since been traded away. Riley Green had been traded away the last year of his contract. Roman Anthony, I don't even think he got traded. I can't remember. I think he just got put in the minors or some shit. He might have gotten traded at the end of his contract. I think that actually would make more sense, but I really don't remember. The point is, all of our core we built was gone. And they managed to win again over the Diamondbacks, who had made it back for the first time since 2038. 6 games once again, and yeah, the Orioles went back-to-back, 13th win of the 13th World Series title in back-to-back once again, 41 and 42, long after the dynasty of the 2020s, 2030s had died. So that was a fun way to end it. Unfortunately, I know some more stuff now because I simmed ahead to see what would happen to Jackson Holliday, because he is our other franchise player, the guy that stuck with our team the entire time, like Gunnar Henderson. So I wanted to see if he made the Hall of Fame, because I thought personally he had the numbers to. Unfortunately, you'll see it's not what happened. But if you want to see the rest of them, 2043, these were all the numbers. Yeah, clinched division, wild card, missed playoffs, and then lost the DS in the final year once Jackson had retired. But Braves over the Rangers, they had got back 2 years later, and Braves got yet another World Series championship. Then the Padres made it back to back and lost 2 World Series back to back. First one was a sweep to the Twins, who had finally found their win. And then the Blue Jays in 7 games. The Blue Jays got a World Series victory in 2045 over the Padres in 7 games. Then the Blue Jays actually went back to back in 46 over the Braves, who are showing their dominance again. 7 games yet again. So the Blue Jays really had to fight for both their World Series titles. I hope that brings some Blue Jays fans solace after this year, of course, and being terrible this entire sim. But they got back-to-back wins, so yeah. And then 2047, the Reds actually made the World Series, and they beat the Red Sox, so the Red Sox still have nothing since 2018, which I very much appreciate. And finally, 2048, when Jackson finally retired, it was the Kansas City Royals getting a World Series victory over the Braves, their second in 3 years, their second appearance in 3 years. So that's all the stats. That's the rundown of the franchise from beginning to end of what we know. Now we're finally going to move on to the players. It's been 18 minutes of just me talking. So we have the Hall of Fame team to start. The best players in the team's history and their awards and whatnot. And like I said, I'm going to zoom in so we can get a little bit of a better breakdown, sliding side to side. So starting off, our best player by WAR, Jackson Holliday. And Jackson Holliday played with the Orioles from 2024 to 2041. 18 years, his full career of the MLB was with the Baltimore Orioles. He played in 2,223 games. He collected 2,434 hits, 593 doubles, 353 homers, 1,257 RBIs, 1,428 runs. He had a 283 career average and a 99 career WAR. There were so many times in the franchise we saw him consistently put up 9 WAR years. And I thought his WAR and honestly some of his counting stats would be enough to make the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, it wasn't. He did not make the Hall of Fame, but he still has accolades to show. He was the 2032 postseason MVP. He was the 2033 All-Star MVP. He won the 2037 Hank Aaron Award. He was an All-Star in 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38, a 9-time All-Star. He won a Gold Glove in 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, an 8-time continuous Gold Glover. He won a Silver Slugger in 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38, a 9-time Silver Slugger. And of course, he was a World Series champ in 2025, 29, 2030, 31, 32, 34, 35, and he did play during the season in 2041, so he gets that World Series ring as well, an 8-time World Series champ, and he has to be on the team as our second baseman because, of course, we're going to talk about another guy later who had manned it for the first few years, but once Jackson was there, he took off and he didn't look back. Fantastic career out of Jackson Holliday, and definitely, I mean, better than his father's even at that point, not living in a shadow, truly carving his own legacy. Now we go to the big man, the most important man of the franchise, our cornerstone piece from day one. I promised he would be on the team for as long as possible, and our goal was to get him to the Hall of Fame. And you'll see that might be just what happened. Gunnar Henderson manned shortstop from 2022, and he stayed with the team until 2042, and he finally retired. 21 years in the majors. And I also need to say 2041 for Jackson is his last playing year. These are the last playing years. Another thing I need to mention, actually, before I read Gunner's stats, some of these stats are probably slightly inflated. This is because when MLB The Show does the two other teams thing, it doesn't show you the actual breakdown. You can't do what you can do on Baseball Reference and split it up by the two teams the player played for. So I kind of just lumped it in if he played on the team that year. So some of the stats, like I said, might be slightly inflated, but that's the best I could do in the situation. Cut me some slack, man. I did a lot of stat collection for this, and like I said, I don't think I'm going to do it the same way for 26 because this was so much work. Was it fun? Kind of sometimes, but also it was a lot of work. So just know that. Some of the stats might be slightly inflated, a little off, and the years are their last playing years with the team. If there's a gap in the playing years, it's usually because someone left and then we brought him back. You'll see. But either way, let's get back to it. Gunnar Henderson spent from 2022 to 2042 with the Orioles, 21 years in the majors, his full career as an Oriole. He played 2,221 games. He had 2,400 hits. 537 doubles, 527 home runs. He was part of the 500 homer club, 1,592 RBIs, 1,500 runs, 279 average in his career, and an 87.3 WAR in his career. Then, of course, in real life, he was the 2023 Rookie of the Year, 2025, 2028 AL MVP, two-time MVP. He was 33, 34, 35 playoff MVP 3 times in a row. He was the 29 and 31 World Series MVP 2 times in a row. He had a Silver Slugger from 23, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, and 35, a 10-time Silver Slugger, an All-Star in 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, and 32, 8 times. He was the 2028 home run champ. He was a 5-time home run derby winner, 25, 27, 28, 29, 32. He was a 2028 Hank Aaron Award winner. And of course, he was a 25, 26, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, and 35 World Series champ 8 times. And he made the Hall of Fame as an Oriole with the Orioles logo on his plaque. He went into Cooperstown. And yeah, just Gunnar Henderson is the cornerstone of this team. I, unofficially named him the captain because you can't assign a captaincy in MLB The Show, but he would have been the captain, man. I mean, he had everything it took to lead this team to victory multiple times. He was a fantastic postseason performer. Again, 500 homer club, almost at the 2,500 hit line. The WAR is insane, and he was just out there every day. And I feel like as he would have gotten older, he would have led those younger guys and gave them knowledge and that kind of thing. So Gunnar Henderson, man, absolutely amazing career from him in the Orioles franchise, and so glad to be a part of it. The other thing I will quickly say before we move on to our third guy is awards are also only for their Orioles career. So some of these guys have World Series championships or have Silver Sluggers or something else, with another team. That's not what I put down. I only put down their awards for their Orioles career, the things they did in black and orange. So that's the last thing I have to say. We'll move on to the next player because, God, we have to keep moving. We haven't gotten to games yet. Next up is Riley Green. Left fielder. He was here from 2029 to 2037, 9-year career. We had a 10-year contract, and he got traded away before the last year of his career. But in his time as an Oriole, he had 1,257 games played, 1,462 hits, 314 doubles, 230 home runs, 830 RBIs, 762 runs, a 301 career average as an Oriole, and a 52.4 career WAR as an Oriole. He was the 2031 batting title winner with a 358 average. He won 2 Hank Aaron's back-to-back in 2030 and 31. He was a Gold Glover in 33, 34, and 35, 3 in a row. He was a Silver Slugger from 30 through 34, 4 times. All-Star from 29 to 31, then 33 and 34, 5-time All-Star with the Orioles, and he was, of course, a 6-time World Series champ with the team, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, and 35. And he actually is a 7-time World Series champ, like I mentioned, because he had come off winning one with the Guardians before signing to us in the 2028-9 offseason. So yeah, Riley Green, fantastic guy on the team, was constantly hitting, came up big in the postseason, and just put up a great career in the black and orange. Unfortunately, though, when he did retire, he did not make the Hall of Fame amongst some other names that are down here. Roman Anthony, Dominguez, Riley Green all retired and did not make the Hall of Fame. Acuna and Juan Soto did. Harry Ford had retired. Of course, he didn't make the Hall of Fame. Guerrero Jr. did, but he went in as a Twin, and Junior Caminero did as a Mariner. And yeah, Jackson Holliday, yeah, like we said, did not make the Hall of Fame. So we have some guys that did, but not for us. But we still put it in here either way. But either way, Roman Anthony, center fielder, from 2030 to 2040, 11 years with the team. He played 1,479 games. He was the biggest contract in our franchise's history, $412 million for 10 years. Yeah, 1,479 games, like we said, 1,428 hits, 319 doubles, 266 homers, 856 RBIs, 814 hits, at a 260 average, 49.3 WAR in his career as an Oriole. He was a 2032 World Series MVP, a Gold Glover in 30 and 37, an All-Star in 31, 32, 34, and he was a 5-time World Series champ, 30, 31, 32, 34, and 35. Roman Anthony, yeah, he started a lot hotter when we had him early on. He did slow down towards the end of his career, but overall, he was still a very solid player for the team, and he will be manning center field for the Hall of Fame team. Then we have right field, a guy that had a lot of doubt early on, but it's Jason Dominguez. We made a trade for him in 2027, and he was there from 2027 to 2036, 10 years. He didn't play very much early on. He was really a platoon bat, but eventually, we gave him full-time playing out in right field, and he was fantastic because every time he was hitting, he was amazing on the diamond. He was absolutely amazing. And yeah, you'll see in the numbers, 1,259 games played as an Oriole, and in almost 220 less games than Roman Anthony, or in 220 less games than Roman Anthony, he had more hits, which is insane. 334 doubles, 281 homers, 870 RBIs, 903 runs, a 287 career average as an Oriole, and a 42.9 WAR. And yeah, we kept extending him and bringing him back because he was just really, really good for us. He won the All-Star MVP in 2035. He won the 29 and 30 postseason MVP, a 2-time postseason MVP. He was an All-Star 6 times from 28 and then 31 through 33 and then 35 and 36. A Silver Slugger from 31 to 33 and then also in 35 4 times. He was a home run derby winner in 2033. He was a home run champ in 35. And he was a 6-time World Series champ, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, and 35. It was really cool, too, though, in 2035. The year after we had signed him back yet again, he had won the AL MVP, and we really saw the full potential of Jason Dominguez and showing up for his contract and winning another World Series. Just, I love Jason Dominguez in real life. I really wish the Yankees would let him play and develop into an actual player. I feel like it's not going to happen, and we're going to see him traded away somewhere else before he's fully utilized, and then he's going to be a stud somewhere else, and that really upsets me. So we took advantage of that in this franchise and got to use Jason Dominguez for a long time, and he was an absolutely fantastic player. Then we move on to Kyle Teel. Now, you would think the starting catcher would be Adley Rutschman, but when we compare the numbers down below, not only are they very similar, in some ways, Kyle Teel's are better, especially on the WAR end, and I think that probably has to do with defensive metrics compared to Adley Rutschman. But either way, Kyle Teel played more years with the team, and he was valuable for a guy that was supposed to be a temporary pickup. But Kyle Teel, really showed out for the Orioles, and he was a big part of the team. So he is going to be our starting catcher, 2031 to 2040, 10 years on the team, 1,121 games, a little over 1,000 hits, a little over 200 doubles, 139 home runs, 520 RBIs, 529 runs, a 260 average in his career as an Oriole, and a 40.2 WAR, which, like I said, I think mostly comes on the defensive side, given the fact that he won 4 Gold Gloves with us from 32 through 35, and then he was a 4-time World Series champ, 31 through 30, well, 31, 32, 34, and 35. Then we move on to the starting DH, by far one of the most surprising players in this entire sim, Bryan Reynolds, man. Like, I love Bryan Reynolds. Of course, he's been going down the last few years in real life. I picked him up in the sim expecting him to be with the team for 2, maybe 3 years most. Like, I didn't expect us to finish his contract, or almost, and then, not only trade him away, but then get him back. Bryan Reynolds was such a big part of this Orioles team's success in the late 2020s and into the start of the 2030s. As you can see, we had him as our DH from 2026 to 2030, and then we traded him away, and then we brought him back for 2031 and 2032. 6 years with the team, but they were valuable, those 6 years. Bryan Reynolds, in that time, had 1,048 games played, 1,213 hits, 247 doubles, 180 homers, 624 RBIs, 639 runs, a 289 average in his career as an Oriole, and a 21.9 WAR. Not only that, he was the 2026 and 2031 postseason MVP on the sides of 2 different contracts. He was fantastic. A 2-time postseason MVP for us. He won a Silver Slugger in 26 and 29. He was an All-Star in 26, 28, and 29 3 times. And he was a 5-time World Series champ. He did play with the team in 2030, so he would technically get a ring there. So 26, 29, 30, 31, and 32. Bryan Reynolds was a postseason performer. He was a postseason dog. He came up big in so many moments. He was the one that got the go-ahead RBI in that Game 2 of the 2031 World Series where the Orioles would come back 8-7. He got the go-ahead RBI that ended up winning the game. He had a big home run in another game. I don't know if it was during that. I think it was during that World Series when he tied the game in, I want to say it was the 10th or something. Of course, that game would go on further, but he was just a clutch postseason performer, hence why he had 2 postseason MVPs. Besides the fact that you look at that 289 average, he was hitting almost 300 every year into his mid to late 30s. Bryan Reynolds was an absolute dog for this team. Unfortunately, of course, he did not make the Hall of Fame, but if he did, I feel like he would have definitely went in as an Oriole because, man, he was so crucial to our team and the victories our team had acquired during the decade. Then at third base, the starting third baseman, he is our most valuable third baseman by WAR despite his short tenure. It's Junior Caminero. From 2029 to 31, he manned the hot corner. He played 385 games only, but in that time he had 400 hits, 73 doubles, 74 homers, 214 RBIs, 212 runs, a 278 average as an Oriole, and 11.7 WAR. He was a 2030 World Series MVP, was big in that series. He was an All-Star in 30 for us, and he was a 3-time World Series champ with the team from 29 to 31. And he ended up being a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, we could not retain him. Money was kind of weird there, and he just didn't want to come back. He signed with the Mariners, the team that he would go on to be a Hall of Famer with. The Seattle S would be on his Hall of Fame plaque, but I still look fondly on my time with Junior Caminero, although I definitely felt betrayed at first when he didn't come back, especially with the success he had seen with the team during the dynasty run. And I will say we did get the last laugh in a sense because he never won a World Series with Seattle, so yeah, he might have had more success if he had stayed an Oriole. But while he was here, 11.7 WAR, he was the most valuable third baseman on the team by WAR. So he will be manning the hot corner for the Hall of Fame team. Now at the bottom of the lineup is our first baseman, lowest WAR, but still a very valuable player at first base. Our most valuable first baseman, I know it sounds surprising, it's Jack Caglione. From 2030 to 32 in 3 years, he had manned first base, and he played 481 games. He had 448 hits, 86 doubles, 108 homers, 296 RBIs, 274 runs, a 245 career average with the team, and a 6.5 WAR. He was a 2031 home run derby champ where he went against Roman Anthony. He was a 2031 home run champ. He had the most in the league. And he was a 30, 31, and 32 World Series champ before he went and signed with the Dodgers. Now, Jack Caglione leaving was not Jack's fault. It was more about me. Of course, I was a little burnt that he went to the Dodgers. However, Jack Caglione couldn't stay on the team mainly because we had to make a choice. Roman Anthony and Jack Caglione's contracts were expiring. Originally, I was going to just go all rookies. Dorian Soto was going to, sorry, not Dorian Soto. Vance Honeycutt was going to man center field, and then we were going to have Vladimir Campillo play first. But we ended up making a run at Roman Anthony because he was a generational talent. I felt I couldn't let him go. We spent so much money on Roman Anthony, as well as having $30 million in Gunnar, 30 in Jackson, 30 in Jason Dominguez. We had so much money tied up in big contracts that we had to let someone walk, and that person ended up being Jack Caglione. I think he found a little bit of success probably in LA, but I'm going to say, it is important to mention he is going to be manning first simply because in the 3 years he was with us, he was the most valuable first baseman. I know that sounds shocking, but he was. And I mean, you look at the stats, they're even better than Junior Camanero's in a lot of places other than average. I think he did also have a lot of strikeouts, but either way, I still like Jack Caglione. He had a good run with us, and I appreciate all he did for the team. Then we go with the bench, who are probably going to get subbed in, and that's going to be Adley Rutschman. He played with the team for 8 years, of course, in real life from 2022. And then he played with us till 2029 when we traded him with Cody Bellinger to the Mariners, I believe. But in the time he was an Oriole, he put up 1,089 games on the team, 1,028 hits, 197 doubles, 147 homers, 535 RBIs, 556 runs, a 260 average, and a 26.1 WAR. He was still valuable, pretty valuable defensively. And he was an okay offensive performer, but he didn't sim as well in this franchise, and he got injured quite a bit. So Adley Rutschman didn't end up being the cornerstone catcher we expected him to be, especially as a switch hitter. I was looking forward to having Adley on the team, but after a while, we had to say goodbye to him. And yeah, just he didn't perform the way I had hoped he did. And we eventually just got rid of him as he aged and was continuing to regress. But in the time also as well with his awards, he was the 2025 World Series MVP where he had some big hits. He was a Silver Slugger in 23 and 26, and he was an All-Star in 23, 24, 26, and 28, and a World Series champ 3 times with us from 25, 26, and he got one more in 29 before being traded away. Then the second spot on the bench goes to Harry Ford, another one of our catcher. He's platooned with Kyle Teal, so we had lefty-righty. He was with us from 2029 to 35, 7 years on the team. Yeah, we actually had pretty good control of catchers for a while. And in those 7 years, though, he definitely didn't get full play time, which I think stunted his development and showed a lot of regression because he didn't get to play very often. He only put up 444 games with us, 419 hits, 80 doubles, 83 homers, 264 RBIs, 240 runs, a 263 average, and a 16.2 WAR. Still a really solid player, even though he didn't get as much play time. He probably could have had a better career in a place he could have started, but he was still pretty solid. And he was a World Series champ. That's all he had with us. A World Series champ in 29, 30, 31, 32, and 34. 5 times. Still a good run with him, and he was still valuable to the team, even if he didn't put up all-star campaigns, Silver Sluggers, Gold Gloves. Harry Ford still had his place in the lineups. He came through with some hits here and there in big spots. So we support Harry Ford. Then we go over to the other guy that manned second at the start of the franchise, Jazz Chisholm Jr. We traded for him from the Yankees in 2025, and we kept him with an extension for 3 years from 25 to 27. And in those 3 years, he played 419 games, 459 hits from him, 103 doubles, 78 homers, 259 RBIs, 255 runs, and a 275 average, and 11.6 career WAR with the Orioles. He was a Silver Slugger in 25 and 27, and an All-Star in 25, and he was a 2-time World Series champ in the back-to-back runs in 25 and 6. Now, we got rid of Jazz because it was time for Jackson to step up and play. Jackson, I was not going to let him sit in the minors and rot, especially when his numbers in AAA were looking so good. Jazz also was getting older. He was only going to be more expensive, and his contract already, I think, was it might have been either 18 or 20 million in that range. So it was time to say goodbye. We traded him to the Padres. He had a great career with the Padres. He did not make the Hall of Fame or anything, but he had a nice resurgence when he started to see some performance dip with us. However, he was very important. playing second base for us in the back-to-back World Series year 25 and 26. So while the numbers aren't as good as I had thought they were still pretty solid, and he was valuable to the team. Then on the bench, center field, again, next player by WAR, it's Jackson Merrill. He played with us only for 2 years, 2028 to 29, and one of those years he got injured in the postseason. I had signed him to a big extension, but I had some choices to make out in center. There was better options to be made. I think that might have been when we went after Roman Anthony, and I think Jackson Merrill was part of that trade. And yeah, while he was very good with us, he just didn't have a place on our squad, and the injuries had me nervous, and he wasn't playing as well in the first half of that year, if I remember correctly. So we traded him away for Roman Anthony. But the numbers he did have as an Oriole: 292 games played, 351 hits, 86 doubles, 44 homers, 165 RBIs, 181 runs, 282 average, and a 10.5 WAR. And in that time, he was an all-star in 2029, and he was a 29 and 30 World Series champ. Because, 2030 is actually when we traded him. Because that's when we got Roman Anthony mid-season. But, yeah, so he played with the team then, so he gets a World Series ring. So, actually, I probably should have put 2030. So, actually, the stats might be a little off, actually. I'm sorry about that. But his WAR was still the next up regardless, so he takes that last bench spot. We're going to keep moving, though. I'm going to read out everything we have, except for the last team we're going to do before we do like a all-time, where I'm just going to pick and choose, just because we have to get through all the stats. So then we can just focus on gameplay and not worry about anything else. So, next up on the reserves, who will see playtime in different games. We got Matt Olson. He manned first base for only 2 years, 28 to 29, but he was very productive in those 2 years. He had a 308. He played 308 games. He had 335 hits, 56 doubles, 67 homers, 229 RBIs, 175 runs, a 287 average in those 2 years, and a 9.5 WAR. He was an all-star in 28, Silver Slugger in 28-29, and a 29 World Series champ. Yeah, Matt Olson, he wasn't around for long, mainly because his contract was very expensive, so I had to offload it, and I felt like I could find a replacement elsewhere. And we did, so it worked out. But Matt Olson was valuable for the time he was with the team. I mean, you look at those numbers: 67 home runs in barely 2 full years, and a 287 average. He was good. And of course, he birthed my popular Yam Time clip on TikTok with a 3-run walk-off home run against the Angels. But yeah, we liked Matt Olson while he was here. And he went to go have a career, I think, in Miami and other places, especially after his tenure with the Braves. So Matt Olson, we thank him for his time, but I think he's also fine with being a one-time World Series champion. I think he also actually has the World Series with I don't know if he had the World Series with the Braves in 21. He might not have been playing yet, but because Freddie Freeman was still on the team. But either way, that's Matt Olson. Next up is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from 2034 to 2036. We had him on a 3-year contract. I signed him pretty instinctually after losing the World Series to the Mets. I wanted to make a big impact signing, and Vladimir Guerrero was that one. It was also mainly because we had signed someone at the bottom, Aaron Judge, at 40 years old to be our DH, and he was not going to get better. Vladimir Guerrero was a better option, while he was also regressing. He was still a 90-something overall, and he could still hit. And in those 3 years with the team, he played 391 games. He had 429 hits. He played quite a bit of first base as well, 78 doubles, 50 homers, 232 RBIs, 239 runs, a 290 average, and an 8.6 WAR. Besides that, he was a 34 and 35 World Series champ 2 times, and he was a Hall of Famer. Of course, he went in with Minnesota, which is where he signed his big contract following the 25 season. He did not find any success there, but he did find success with the Orioles, and we had been in his way a number of times. But he has also won an AL MVP. He did with the Twins in his first year. He had a Hall of Fame career. He was a fantastic player. And I'm still surprised he put up 50 home runs in those couple of years, 3 years he was with us, because his home run numbers were down. But as you can see by the average, he was still able to hit. He was getting on base. And he still, again, was able to man first base as well, despite getting older in his late 30s. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was a very valuable part in the late era of the franchise. And he was a fun little ad to have later on as well. Then we move on to one of my favorite guys in the franchise, although he didn't see much success with the team, unfortunately. It's Cody Bellinger. Now, I love Cody Bellinger in real life as a Yankees fan. I am glad we got him back, although the contract's a little messy. But we got him a lot cheaper in Orioles franchise, and we had him for 3 years. I just wanted to get him a ring, and we did in his final year before we said goodbye. But from 2027 to 2039, Cody Bellinger played 431 games. He had 427 hits, 85 doubles, 61 homers, a 232 RBIs, same as Vladimir Guerrero, 221 runs, a 268 average in that time, and an 8.3 WAR, barely under Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And during that time, he was only the 29 World Series champ. He didn't make any All-Star appearances or anything, but Cody Bellinger was still a fun guy to have on the team. A great lefty impact bat. A guy we had faced earlier in the postseason. It was fun to see him come over to Baltimore and give it his all for those 3 years, even if we didn't see the most success. And I'm just glad we got him a ring before we said goodbye and he moved on to other teams. Now we also go to left field with Steven Kwan. Now, we're getting to these names here that are notable names, even if they weren't with the team long or didn't put up big numbers. Because even you'll see, worse WAR below from Kobe Mayo than these 4 guys. We have 2 years, 3 years, 3 years, 2 years, and then Kobe Mayo, 6 years, and he has lower WAR. But that's for a reason. We'll see why. But either way, we're on Steven Kwan, a notable name, even though he didn't have an amazing tenure with us. He was still valuable at times in the playoff runs. And yeah, even though he wasn't here long, he's a notable name. From 26 to 27, we had him. He played in 229 games as an Oriole. He had 265 hits, 51 doubles, 23 homers, 84 RBIs, 85 runs, a 275 average, and in that time a 5.1 WAR. I think his defense was probably most of the WAR there. He was the 2026 World Series MVP. He had some big hits, especially in the last game of that series, and he was a 26 World Series champ. So he had a very nice 2026, and he didn't stay with the team long just because his money. I didn't want to pay the money for him. He was getting older. He was regressing. But Steven Kwan did win a World Series championship with us, and he was instrumental to that 2026 team winning. And like I said, notable name. That's why he's here. Kobe Mayo, homegrown guy. He played from 2024 to 2029, 6 years. Before we traded him away, I believe it was to the Rays, but that might actually be of someone else I'm thinking of. We'll get there as well. But I said I'm probably not going to talk about that team till later. The pitching is going to be a lot. But Kobe Mayo, in the 6 years he was with us, only played 304 games. He did a lot of flip-flopping between the majors and the minors, and that's why we traded him, to give him somewhere he could start, because he wasn't starting for us when we had Junior Caminero, when we had, other guys manning third base, Jordan Westberg. Like, he just didn't have a clear path to the majors. So I finally traded him away to somewhere he would actually be able to start every day. But in that time, he had 304 games, 290 hits, 62 doubles, 51 homers, 146 RBIs, 158 runs, a 251 average, and 4 WAR. Yeah, he didn't even put up the greatest numbers, but he was the 2025 Rookie of the Year, and he was a World Series champ in 25, 26, and technically 29 because he did play with the team. So he did technically win 3 rings. We wanted to send him somewhere he could actually get full playing time. And yeah, he still put up a Rookie of the Year campaign with us, which was cool. And yeah, the numbers just don't look so good because he just didn't get the opportunities. I think he had a much better career when he left. And that's fine by me. I wanted to give Kobe the best because he had given us his all every time he had the opportunity. Next up, we have Colt Keith. He played with us in 2026. Then he was not with us. And then we had him from 28 to 29. I think we had traded him away and then traded back. But yeah, Colt Keith did not have an amazing tenure with us. I thought he was a lot better than I had remembered, but he really wasn't. Still, he helped our team get some big wins in big spots. I mean, that's what 2 World Series at least he had, so he was part of those teams. He played first, and I remember him having some big hits, so not all is lost. 390 games in that time, 386 hits, 74 are second. 74 doubles, 45 homers, 170 RBIs, 171 runs, a 267 average, and a 2.3 WAR. He was a 26, 29, and 30 World Series champ because he had played in 30. So yeah, Colt Keith was still a part of those teams and valuable. Of course, for fun and because I'm a Yankees fan, I have to throw Aaron Judge on here at DH. He only played with us for 2 years, and in the second year, he played 1 game, so he would technically get a ring. That's what I did for that. But in the 2 years he was with us, the numbers are not horrible. At age 40 and 41, Aaron Judge on the Orioles played in 89 games. He had 93 hits, 17 doubles, 11 homers, 42 RBIs, 45 runs, and a 257 average, although he did record a negative .1 WAR. I don't know. The numbers look better than the WAR does to me, and it was fun to have Aaron Judge there and see him actually contribute despite being age 40. He was a 2034 World Series champion technically, as he did play a game during the reg season, and he ended up being a Hall of Famer, of course going in as a Yankee. But for fun, in this whole Hall of Fame All-Star shit, we gotta throw Aaron Judge in because a big name that played with us at the very end of his career, even if it wasn't a illustrious or exciting big. I mean, he had a grand slam in the postseason, so no, there was some exciting moments. We had to throw Aaron Judge in there for funsies. Now we move on to the pitching, the starting rotation for this team. And the main guy at the top by WAR is Paul Skeens. I'm choking. One sec. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, Paul Skeens. So he played with us from 2030 to 2037 when he signed his contract, an 8-year deal, $45 million a year. And in that time, he played 225 games. He pitched in 1,250 innings. He had 90 wins to 51 losses, 1,334 strikeouts, and a 3.75 ERA in that time with 24.7 WAR. Yeah, we had some weird shit with Paul Skeens, and we'll talk about that a little more in a second. He was the 2030 and 2033 Cy Young. He was an All-Star in 2030, 2032, and 2033. And he was a 5-time World Series champ in 30, 31, 32, 34, and 35. I don't think Paul Skeens made the Hall of Fame in this sim either, because he just struggled for us for a while. He put up that Cy Young campaign the first year, and then he was putting up ERAs north of 4, and he was just struggling in big games a lot of the time, and it was kind of unfortunate. But you could see he still won more games than he lost, and he still put up good strikeout numbers and a good amount of innings. He really stayed on the field, which was important. So, despite all those struggles, Paul Skeens was still very valuable to this team, and he won 2 Cy Youngs with the ball club, so can't really complain too much. Yeah, Paul Skeens gave us his all, and I was glad to have him part of the team no matter what. Next up on the WAR for pitchers was our first ace in this series from 25 to 2030, 6 years of playing, Shane McClanahan, after we traded for him from the Rays. He pitched in 198 games, 1,148.2 innings, 74 wins to 42 losses, 1,077 strikeouts, a 3.31 ERA, and a 19.9 WAR. He was the 2027 Cy Young winner. He was an All-Star in 27 and 29 2 times, and he was a 5-time World Series champ when we traded him away in 30. He got all those across the board, though. Yeah, Shane McClanahan was our first ace. He was dominant. He held the rotation down. Of course, he had that one Cy Young campaign, and he just felt like he was getting better each season until age started to catch up with him, and that's when we finally said goodbye. I think he had a little bit of better years. They were okay years with other teams before he finally retired. I'm still very thankful to Shane McClanahan for how he helped us in those 5 World Series he was a part of. He pitched a lot of those final games and was shut down in a lot of them. Next up on the pitching rotation is George Kirby. From 2029 to 2032, he was part of our rotation 4 years. We had signed him to, I think, a 5-year contract, but man, did he see regression hard. But in the time he was with the Orioles, pitched in 131 games, 770 innings, 52 wins to 28 losses, so still a positive record, 625 strikeouts, a 3.94 ERA, and a 12.4 WAR. Yeah, his ERA was just not great. He had a Gold Glove in 2032, and he was an All-Star in 29, and then he was a 4-time World Series champ from that 29 to 32 dynasty run in the 4-peat. Yeah, George Kirby was a signing I was really excited about when we started, or when we first got him, because George Kirby looked great on paper. He's always been a really good pitcher in a lot of sims I've seen, so I was really excited about it. But man, regression caught up with him fast. He started to post ERAs north of 4, and then they started to go north of 5. And I think there was also some injuries at play, which is why those games might be down. So yeah, George Kirby, unfortunately, we didn't get what I fully wanted out of him, but he was still pretty solid, all things considered. You can, again, see the win-loss, and all the pitchers on this list have positive win-losses, which is good. That's why they're in this episode. But yeah, George Kirby, I wanted a little more out of him, but still, he was all right while he was here. Then one of the more surprising ones to join the starting rotation was Jacob Misiorowski. From 2029 to 34, he was part of the team. He would flip-flop between being a starter and being in the pen. During that time, he played 141 games. He pitched 730.2 innings. He had 51 wins to 24 losses, 817 strikeouts. He had 1 save, and he posted a 4.5 ERA and 10 WAR on the dot. Then, in one of the most surprising turns, was in 2032. He had won the Cy Young. He was a Gold Glove in 28. He was an All-Star in 2032, and he was a 5-time World Series champ from 29 through 32, and of course, 34 against the Cardinals his last year with us, because I didn't want to pay him money to stay back, especially when he had been inconsistent. That's kind of the story of Jacob Misiorowski's run with the Orioles, is inconsistent. He spent a lot of time flipping between the minors and the majors. He could never fully get consistent at the major league level, and maybe that was because I just didn't give him opportunities. But the ERA was always rising, and I just never felt fully confident in him until I needed him in 2032 to take a rotation spot, and he ended up winning a Cy Young in a big surprise to me. It was really cool to have another Orioles pitcher win a Cy Young, and to have Jacob Misiorowski be one of them is just a lot of fun. One of those fun simulation random type things. And yeah, I'm so thankful for his time with us, as he was able to be an innings eater. He was able to be a starter. He was anything we needed him to be, and he went off to have more career success somewhere else. I'm not even sure, actually, how well he did when he left. But yeah, the ERA is a very different number from the rest of his stats. He was a pretty solid player all around, despite the ERA north of 4. Then the last starting rotation is a fun one, mainly because I could not. One, some players, they had retired. I had no access to their stats. 2, we flip-flopped a lot of pitchers, so we never had like super consistent rotations. Number 3, a lot of the players that were really good pitchers for us, like Tony LaBruce, Barton Gross won a Cy Young, they are, I think, auto-generated, and if they are real draft players, real prospects, they don't have cards. And we'll talk more about that later, too, when we get to the notables team later on, which we'll talk about after a lot of the games we're going to play, switching around players. But yeah, the rotation was never really consistent, and a lot of the players we had in the rotation either aren't real or don't have cards. So I put Yoshinobu Yamamoto, since he has a good card this year, and he was valuable on our run to the back to the World Series of 2034. We made a big trade for him. He was only with us for that year because his cost was high, and in the first month of the 2035 season, he had an ERA north of 8, so that was rough. So he only played 32 games in that year. Of course, half of the year was with the Dodgers still, but 178 innings pitched that year, 16-2 win-loss that year, 146 strikeouts, and a 2.73 ERA with a 3.7 WAR, and he was an All-Star that year and a World Series champ with the team, where he closed out the final game of the World Series to beat the Cardinals. So Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the last one. Despite not having a long Orioles tenure, he is a notable name, and one of the few people that actually has a Diamond Dynasty card of our rotation that we can actually put in and use as a starter, and that I actually have the stats for. That's the other thing. Because I'm going to be honest, when we get to the notables team, there's going to be a lot of names I forgot were even on the team at one point. And that's something we're going to talk about as well when we play. Now scrolling down, we go to the bullpen, which has a lot of guys that are going to rotate in and out. But the top of this one, war-wise, is pretty much the first group. And again, these are all guys that I've checked have cards in Diamond Dynasty that we can use. So, yeah. First up, of course, is Felix Bautista, 22-23, 24. He was out with Tommy Johns in real life. So then 25-28, 6 years total with the Orioles organization. He played in 387 games, 382 innings pitched, 31 wins to 22 losses, 535 strikeouts, 194 saves, a 2.75 ERA, and 7 WAR. He was the 2023 reliever of the year, an All-Star in 23, 5, and 7, and a 2-time World Series champ in 5 and 6. So he got World Series rings with us. He was still dominant. And he looked like he'd be the closer of the future, but he started to get worse and worse, and he continued to be worse when we traded him to the Royals. Eventually, he found some footing again late in his career with the Phillies and stuff on one-year deals, bouncing around as a journeyman. But, Felix was still valuable for the time we had him. Of course, that 7 WAR tells the story, and all the saves he recorded, and the ERA and strikeouts all look good, and of course, a positive win-loss. So, yeah, Felix was still a big part of the Orioles franchise, not only in real life, but also in games. So, of course, he's here, and he ends up being at the top of the rotation, but he is going to be our closer, so he'll technically be at the bottom. Then we have Edwin Uceta. Now, Edwin Uceta was with the team from 2027 to 2033. One of our longest tenured relievers, other than, you can see down here, Jason Foley had 8 years. The two longest tenured relievers. Edwin Uceta was huge for this team during the dynasty run. 405 games pitched, 460 innings pitched, 42 wins to 27 losses, 501 strikeouts, 62 saves, a 2.62 ERA, and 6.8 WAR, an All-Star in 2030, and a 4-time World Series champ. Edwin Uceta was just shut down out of the pen when we traded for him. I think that might have been the Jordan Westburg or Kobe Mayo trades to Tampa Bay, but either way, Edwin Uceta came over. We kept signing him back. He was just so instrumental to that dynasty runs. He was so valuable. He felt like he was shut down coming out of the pen almost every time until towards the end of his tenure when we eventually traded him to the Red Sox, and he found some success there, but then his career was quickly over after that. Most of his prime came with us in the Orioles, and he was just super important to winning a lot of those World Series. So we love Edwin Uceta here. Then we have Adrian Morejon, 6 years with us from 2028 to 2033, 464 games played, 528.2 innings pitched, 30 wins, 15 losses, 527 Ks, 13 saves, 3.68 ERA, a little high, but not bad, actually, and a 6.3 WAR. And he was a 4-time World Series champ. Morejon, lefty out of the pen. We needed a guy like that, a power lefty, and Morejon proved to be that time and time again. He did have some struggle years here and there, which is why you see the ERA so high, but overall, he was pretty shut down every time he came out, and he was a good postseason performer. Adrian Morejon has to be a part of this Hall of Fame rotation. Then we move on to Sean Reynolds, 29 to 33, 5 years with the team. And he was also very good, to my shock. I didn't think he would be as good as he was. But in 215 games, he pitched 281.1 innings, 14 wins to 8 losses, 287 Ks, 9 saves, a 3.19 ERA, and a 4.2 WAR. He is a 4-time World Series champ as well. Then we move on to Evan Phillips. Despite getting older, 2027 to 31, the 5 years he was with us, he was excellent. 280 games played, 332.1 innings. He had 28 wins and 13 losses, 254 Ks, 10 saves, and a 2.45 ERA. He had a great year, one of the years where I think he put up like a 1.75 ERA or something when he was getting older. But the age didn't stop him. He was still shoving. He was a flamethrower, shutdown reliever, and we needed a guy like that, and he ended up being a 3-time World Series champ with the team. Super, super valuable. We loved Evan Phillips on this team. Then, of course, Mason Miller. He was our premier closer after Felix Bautista from 2029 to 32. He was our closer 4 years. We traded him to the Red Sox as well, I think. 260 games played, 259 innings pitched, 21 wins, 13 losses, 299 Ks, 133 saves with the team, and a 3.16 ERA. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. And a 3.8 WAR, and in that time he was an All-Star in 29, 30, 31 3 times, and a 4-time World Series champ before we traded him in 32, but he technically gets the ring because he was with us. He got injured that year, and then we brought up the kids, and they were being super valuable. Robin Hayes, Pedro Fernandez, they started to come into their own, so we cut bait on Mason Miller's money, but he was still really valuable. He was our shutdown closer following Felix Bautista. Mason Miller, irreplaceable on the squad. Then we have Luke Weaver, who was a fun one. We had him in 2025. He went to the Dodgers. Then we got him back in a trade in 26, and we had him through 2028, 4 years. 269 games played, 372 innings pitched, 29 wins, 18 losses, 360 Ks, 16 saves, 3.52 ERA, a 3.8 WAR, a All-Star in one of the years, I believe. And I didn't have his awards kept track of, my bad. But he was a 25 and 26 World Series champ 2 times. Luke Weaver, didn't know what to expect from him because he usually doesn't sim too well. And of course, he was good for the Yankees in 24, and he started to come into his own in 23. So I was like, let's give a chance on him in 25. And he was really good. And then he continued to be pretty good for a while. Signing with the Dodgers after we beat them in the World Series hurt. But yeah, we had the assets to make the trade to get him back. And he continued to be really good, although we extended him for 5 years, and of course that didn't really work out because he kept getting worse as he got older. So we shipped him away, I believe, to the Nationals, and it was all fine. He still had a good run with us, and he was a very nice addition to the bullpen. I like the flamethrower, guys. What can I say? Arguably, despite the WAR stats, one of the most valuable players in our bullpen, Jason Foley. We had him from 25 to 28 before we did not have him. I think he signed away. I didn't sign him back. But then we got him back in 2030 and had him until 2033. He played with the Orioles for 8 years, 414 games in that time, 516 innings pitched, 32 wins, 14 losses, 327 Ks, 30 saves, 2.67 ERA, and a 3.7 WAR, man. And he was a 6-time World Series champ, 25, 6, 30 through 33. Jason Foley, no matter how old he got, Something about him was still shut down. Another flamethrower out of the pen. Just knew he had good breaking stuff. He had good heat stuff. Jason Foley, I loved him. He was just such a fantastic guy, and I always felt pretty confident with him coming out of the pen. Like, of course, like any pitcher, he had some missteps here and there. Um, but overall, Jason Foley was an irreplaceable part of the bullpen machine. Sam Hench's 2 years was barely with the team, but still put up a pretty positive WAR. 118 games played, 28 to 29, 124 innings pitched, 8 wins, 4 losses, 112 strikeouts, 2 saves, a 2.58 ERA, and a 1.9 WAR, and a 29 World Series champ. Yeah, that was what I was looking for, guys who were in Diamond Dynasty. But you see the WAR numbers, those 2 years he had were really solid, and he's a pretty notable name. Like I said, everyone on here positive, so fucking just good 10 years all around. Now, one of my favorites, as he showed up late in the series from 2033 to 2035, that should say, not 25, was Mason Montgomery. I took a chance on him in the offseason, and he ended up being just so valuable, man. I know the WAR numbers don't say it, but he was. I mean, 149 games played, 255.1 innings, 17 wins, 1 loss in his time with the Orioles, 189 Ks, 8 saves, a 2.94 ERA, and a 1.9 WAR. And he was an all-star twice in that span from 33 and 34, and a 2-time World Series champ in 34 and 35, man. Mason Montgomery, a late bullpen ad when our bullpen started to lose a lot of guys as everyone aged. Like I said, like Morahone was aging, Reynolds was aging. Like, these guys had been phased out because they were just getting worse. Their regression was hitting harder and harder. Uceta, all those guys. Even another guy below, Jojo Ingracia. But yeah, like, he was so valuable. He was a find that I wasn't sure was going to work out, and he worked out great alongside 2 other guys in here. One of them being Brian Hudson right after him. Brian Hudson was with us for 4 years, from 2033 to 36, 205 games, 299.2 innings pitched, 13 wins, 6 losses, 195 Ks, 39 saves, 2.79 ERA, 2.7 WAR, and an All-Star in 34 with 2 World Series championships in 30. I think that should be 35 and 36 actually, because we did not win in 34. Yeah, why did I do that wrong? We didn't win in 34. I feel like some of these things are wrong in my tiredness. Because obviously at 34, we were not World Series champs. So maybe, actually, you know what? It might have been 33, 35 for both of them. Yeah. It's supposed to be 33 and 35. Sorry. Anyway. But yeah, also another bullpen find that ended up being really valuable to the team. That's all I'm trying to say. Jojo Ingracia. He was kind of sitting in the minors for most of it, but when we brought him up, he was good. 2031 to 33 in the 3 years he was here before he really dropped off. 143 games, 193 innings pitched, 10 wins, 4 losses, 177 K, 6 saves, 370 ERA, and a 2.3 WAR. ERA a little high, but strikeout's still good. The save's pretty solid. Positive win-loss. Jojo Ingracia, 31-32 World Series champ. He was a surprise add to the bullpen through, different means. I don't know if it was mainly trades or injuries or whatnot, but he was a surprise, and he was still very valuable. Then Will Vest, another guy who was part of some of those late runs, 2030 to 32, 3 years with the team, 186 games played, 210.1 innings pitched, 18 wins, 9 losses, 134 strikeouts, 8 saves, a 3.03 ERA, and a 2 WAR. Not much to say about Will Vest, 3-time World Series champ. He was a good part of the pen, alongside Jason Foley, 2 guys who were part of the Tigers pen. I loved both of them. They were great additions. Then, at the bottom, we have Porter Hodge, another notable name. 34 to 35, only with us for 2 years, but in that time, 159 games played, 179 innings pitched, 14 wins, 6 losses. Great for 2 years. 178 Ks, 4 saves, 3.33 ERA, and a 1.4 WAR. 2-time World Series champ. No, he's not. Why did I keep doing 34? Wait, no, we did win in 34. We lost in 33. I'm an idiot. I'm so stinky. Sorry, there's a lot of stats to read, so sorry. Then I'm already getting some shit wrong. And that's also there's so much formatting shit in here, too. I'm sorry. Gotta excuse it, man. This was a lot of work across different late nights right after streams and whatnot, so. But yeah, that's all the numbers. Just a quick thing again. I'll probably zoom out a little bit. You can actually see the numbers completely. I'd also be down to possibly share this spreadsheet in chat if you want to look at, or not in chat, in the description if you want to look at these stats yourself. But yeah, that's the All-Star team. And then we have the notables without stats, which we'll get to later. Let's finally get into some gameplay, and we're finally going to use some of these cards on the team. So we have our first team set up to go, and it is manned by the team we had mentioned, the all-star team. We have Riley Green out in left, Roman Anthony in center, Jason Dominguez in right, Jack Caglione Manning first, Jackson Holiday at second, Gunnar Henderson at third, Junior Caminero Gunnar Henderson at short, Junior Caminero at third, Brian Reynolds in the DH spot, Kyle Teal in the catcher spot, Adley on the bench, Harry Ford on the bench, Jazz Chisholm on the bench, and Jackson Merrill. Then the rotation has Paul Skeens, Shane McClanahan, George Kirby, Jacob Mizurowski, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The pen has Edwin Uceta, Adrian Morahone, Sean Reynolds, Evan Phillips, Mason Miller, Luke Weaver, Jason Foley, and Felix Batista. I'm going to try my best to get everyone involved the best I can. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to go. The reason my thing has checkboxes so I know who has played and who hasn't, so I can properly get everyone switched in. And we plan to play, I believe, 7 3-inning games today. Yeah, so we should be able to get everyone involved for the most part. And I've also rebuilt this team in mini seasons because our first game we're going to be playing as the home team. And we are going to hop into that in just a second and really get to enjoy these players. And I'll talk about more stuff in franchise. You know, this is just supposed to be fun. Sorry of all that stat reading. It's been a fucking hour, so I'll probably have time codes in this as well. But, yeah, I'll see you guys in just a bit. We'll hop into our first game for the Orioles Hall of Fame. All right, guys, here we are loading into Game 1. Again, we're playing at home, which is why we're in mini-season, so we can actually play a 3-inning game at home. And we will be using, of course, the default Hall of Fame team. Like I showed you, at Oriole Park, we're probably going to play 2 games at home, but we're going to switch back and forth between certain things. So we have home, away, and then the final 3 will all be away. But yeah, so it doesn't matter that we're playing the Lemurs, but we got the Orioles team. There's our boy, Riley Green. I'm excited to use this team again. And on the mound is Shane McClanahan. One, because Paul Skeens didn't have energy in this mini-seasons. I guess I've been using him in the forever mini-seasons. So we got Shane McClanahan on the mound, which is kind of fitting. He is our initial ace. So we'll get him going to start. And again, doesn't really matter the opponents we're playing. It's just about being in the home atmosphere with the uniforms, with the team in, well, their best form that we can make in Diamond Dynasty. And of course, McClanahan didn't play this year. I think he was injured yet again. So this 88 overall from Diamond Quest is the best card he has in the game, unfortunately. So, yeah, like I said, we're just going to have to deal with some stuff. Really quick to let me lower some of the volume on the game capture. Yep. All right, we're back in. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're just going to try to enjoy these players. Every game we're playing today is going to be on Veteran instead of All-Star, because this is for fun, like I said. Jason, we can't lay out and get that ball, unfortunately. Also, I'm probably going to be real, I'm going to probably try to keep Gunnar and Jackson in the rotation all the time, because they are the cornerstones. And they spent their entire career with the team. It only feels fitting that they're on every team we use today. So, yeah, I think that is going to be a part of it. And like I said, so we're going to do a few games subbing in guys to this squad. And as we continue on, we're going to get a lot of different people in. I really don't know how it's going to go with the bullpen. I'm going to try to get every bullpen guy involved in some way or another. I might have to put multiple guys in multiple innings. But then the second to last team is going to be notables without stats, which we'll go over really easily and quickly. Probably not, like an hour like we just did. And then we will form like a fun, all-time kind of team. And Juan Soto is going to beat McClanahan and hit one to dead center. Jeez, Juan Soto. Always killing me. Solo shot. Yeah, I mean, he won a World Series against us, 2033, so, yeah, it makes sense. Hey, our buddy Vladdy. Except he's not on our team right now. But he will be. We're going to get him in there. But yeah, I'll probably just get my favorite players of the groups into, the all-time, in quotes, team at the end. It might not necessarily be the best guys by WAR. It'll just be the guys I want to use because it'll be fun to use them. But like I said, going back through the franchise and trying to find out what players to use for this, there was a lot of guys I had forgotten were on the team. One of them is in the notables without stats, so we'll visit that later. But like I said, like it's kind of crazy the amount of talent that we had on the Orioles through the different stages of this franchise. Let's hope I don't struggle too much on veterans. It's going to be crazy if we actually... I mean, I might... Who knows? I might lose some of these games. But Dominguez will hit this one deep to left. And, yeah, I can't use the Weekend Classic Dominguez because he's still really expensive. And I also just spent most of my stubs to get the finest Riley Green for this video. So pick and choose. But Junior Caminero, that one's hit deep right. That's gone. Yeah, that's long gone. Junior Caminero doing more of the stuff he did when he was on the team. God, I miss having him in the Orioles uni, bro. He was just so valuable. I mean, he was sitting in the minors for the Rays, and then we traded for him, and we brought him up, and he was excellent for that half year, and he was excellent for his entire Orioles tenure, man. And I did not give a good swing with Gunner there, unfortunately. So that's not a good look for our captain and Hall of Famer. But now Brian Reynolds, man. I love Brian Reynolds cards, typically. Which is why I was also so excited to have him as a part of O's franchise. And yeah, just him playing way above the level expected was so exciting. That is a base hit. Brian Reynolds doing Brian Reynolds things. It is tough to say goodbye to this. I mean, we put like a whole year into this from May to now. So like, of course I'm excited to do new ones, and I have narrowed it down to the 2 possible teams we'll be doing. Again, I haven't fully decided yet, but I've narrowed it down to 2. I have to do kind of pros and cons to decide which one I want to actually do. But man, like, we had such a good time with this. So much time invested. I mean, like, over, I think, almost like 72 hours. And Riley Green will hit a 2-run shot. I did a lot of that in Orioles franchise, hitting the opposite way with this new finest card I haven't used. So we're in the lead 3-1 now. And we get Roman Anthony wearing 19, his normal number. I think he wore 48 with us, though. I'm trying to remember someone else had 19, and that's why. Or maybe, actually, what I think it actually is. Oh, my goodness. I'm smoking it right now. Roman Anthony goes yard to dead center. Let's go. First game. Fun first game so far. But actually, I was going to say, I think Roman Anthony in the thing I downloaded, the roster, he might have still had his prospect number, which might have been 48. Because also I can think of Nick Hertz on the A's. He was wearing 77 still. And what does he wear, 4 in real life, I think? So like, I think a lot of guys still have their prospect numbers. Well, it was good to have McClanahan out here. However, we are going to switch it up, and we're going to go to the pen. And our first guy out of the pen, we have a lefty-righty-righty coming up. We're going to go to Luke Weaver. We're actually going to go to Luke Weaver, since he was part of the early teams as well. And also, this is going to be like my last time getting to use a Yankees Weaver card, man. He went to the Mets. So, a little bummed about that, not going to lie. Even though he had a rough second half of 2025, I still like Luke Weaver, and it did suck that he went cross town, but I was not going to give him the money the Mets gave him. Like, if I was Brian Cashman, I'm not giving him the money that the Mets gave him, for sure. So, I mean, I wish him the best out in Queens. But yeah, he was a good part of this Orioles franchise. And we'll get to use him here and hopefully get a shutdown inning. We'll get some low calls here with the balls. And that one's hit the center. Tough. All right, Roman. He's got the ball in. It is fun to be able to recreate this team in Diamond Dynasty and use, like, the best versions of some of these cards, like all 99s, Jackson, Gunner, Riley. It would have been cool to have Dominguez, but that card's just too expensive. Roman Anthony's 99, but I think he was reaching that point, honestly. And I overthrew it. Oh, my God. That was a mistake. Embarrassing. I've been playing a lot of MVP Baseball 2005 on GameCube, and like getting all my timings fucked up between the 2 games. That game proves to be more of a challenge for me. MVP Baseball 2005. It's kind of tough, despite how, I don't know if it's because it's old or whatever, but All right, Tyler Soderstrom, who was actually on our team at one point sitting in the minors, but we're going to get him to ground out. And a good inning of relief from Weaver. So we have Teal, Caglione, and Dominguez coming up. Cool. And they're going to bring in Brooks Raley, okay. So yeah, I'm just marking some things. I got Shane McClanahan in, and we had Weaver in. Okay. Got to keep track of them with the check marks, just so I can get the proper spread of everyone getting a chance to play. Oh, we got the lefty. That's why they brought him in to face Kyle Teal. Man, Kyle Teal was really such a surprise as well. I only expected him to have a few years, but he ended up being so good that we just kept extending him, and he ended up being one of our longest tenured players, which is just not something I had expected when I originally traded for him. And yeah, I mean, we're just looking to get everyone playing, just for clarification as well. Like, it's not, oh, they have to get a hit to actually, like, contribute. We're just trying to get everyone to be a part. And Caglione, the soft grounder to the side. Wow, nice grab there at third. Caglione will go down 2 away. Is there anyone we can bring in for Jason Dominguez? No, Jazz and Jackson cannot play right field, so if Jason gets on, we could probably bring in someone for Caminero. But I could also try to give some of the bench guys like their own game. I don't know. Either way, quick inning. So actually, no one else is going to get to play. We're just going straight to bullpen. And to close this one out, it's got to be Felix Bautista. So, get him in here. Splitter. Up high. And honestly, I always feel like I struggle to pitch with Felix Bautista. Which is why I think we had that moment in 2027 when the Mariners beat us. Again, that Lazaro Manis 3-run homer was off Bautista. I just struggle to locate with him. His timing is very quick. Neil fouls away. But Bautista's going to get the 101 fastball in for a strikeout. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. steps in for that splitter. 1-1. And 1-2. And popped up. Jackson back. And makes the grab. That'll do it. So, Orioles win Game 1 of the Hall of Fame episode. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And we will be changing up the team and moving in to play an old opponent. Because that is going to be the goal. Is to, revisit some teams we saw a lot of. So the next one you'll see will be an away game. I'm going to switch up the roster a little bit. But yeah, a nice little win. We got a home run out of Junior Caminero. I missed that boy. We got a home run out of Riley Green, Roman Anthony, and Brian Reynolds. But we still get to see Jackson and Gunnar contribute. So yeah, I'm going to switch up a lot of guys on the team. Well, some of the guys, probably the bench guys. I'll mix them in. And then we will really get funky with the teams. But I'll see you in a bit as we get into our first away game. All right, Game 2 loading up, and it is against the Red Sox in Fenway because we faced the Red Sox so many times in Orioles franchise, specifically in the playoffs, man. I don't even know how many years we played them in the ALDS, but it was a lot. And even in our last matchup that I was physically a part of, they went to Game 5. They finally put up that tough fight to try and get to us, but we managed to hold our ground and win it. But feels fitting that we play the Red Sox for our first away game. We'll be going against Connolly early here, because they have, the modern rosters, but we have some changes in the lineup, and the first one is Jazz Chisholm Jr. will be joining us. Yeah, I loved having Jazz a part of the team, and he, even though, again, the underlying stats, when you actually look at them, aren't that impressive, I just remember the aura. I remember the vibes. He had a lot of big home runs in spots. Just a fun player to have on the team, and I could feel, that energy from having Jazz. Especially him being on my team IRL, I like Jazz. So, yeah, having him on the O's just was a fun time. And now we'll actually get a base hit with Jackson Holiday, so that's nice. We get a base runner on. Yeah, I'm trying to still figure out the pitchers and stuff, of course, because there's a lot of them. But I have everyone who was originally on the bench in this game. So I switched some things up all over the place. I was hoping to get some big swings with Gunner, man. I don't know if it'll happen. It'll be kind of disappointing if it doesn't, but we'll see. Oh, another decent swing with Gunner, but nothing. I was going to try to run with Jackson. Oop, get back, get back, get back. Yeah, to the track. Damn, Gunner not finding anything yet. Gunner not finding anything yet. And I tried to also arrange the lineups to be pretty similar to the ones we actually had during the franchise, so Gunner in the 3 spot mainly. Now Brian Reynolds yet again. This time he's playing right field, actually. I want to keep him in the game because I just love hitting with him. And yeah, he is playing right, and Adley Rutschman is DHing. Although I probably could have made Adley catch. Harry Ford's catching. Well, I could have put either of them either way, but, you know, it is what it is. And Brian Reynolds with an absolute moonshot over the monster. The back of it, 463. Brian Reynolds, that's why you keep him in the lineup, baby. He's going to hit that one out, score Jackson Holiday. We lead 2-0 on the Red Sox. Brendan Bernardino will step in, and Adley Rutschman will get an at-bat, man. It's been a long time since we used Adley. And, man, like, okay, maybe I was going to speak too soon. I would say I used to be really good with Adley in some of the earlier games. Like 22 and 23, I was pretty good with Adley. But then by the time of 24 and even this game, like, I struggle to hit with Adley these days. But we had some nice moments with him. He got robbed of that not World Series, All-Star MVP. I believe it was 2028. Aaron Judge ended up hitting a, like, 3-run home run that would give us the lead or something. But, like, Rutschman had tied the game at one point and then hit a walk-off. He hit the walk-off, so, like, I felt like Adley deserved it, but he did not get an All-Star MVP where I really felt like he should have. Yeah, he did have some big swings in certain games. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more out of Adley, but like I said, the sim it didn't happen. We had 3-0 there on Jackson Merrill, who we actually traded to the Red Sox again. Like, he was the guy we traded there. And he just did not see a World Series. He played pretty well in Boston. That's the thing. Getting rid of Jackson had nothing to do with his play and everything to do with how much he cost. So that's why Jackson didn't stay around. But either way, we'll be going back to pitching now. 2-0. Brian Reynolds 2-run shot on the Red Sox. And taking over the mound is George Kirby. We have George Kirby pitching this game. I'm trying to save Paul Skeens towards the end. But yeah, I mean, I had a number of games in mind, but I might have to adjust depending on if we can't get everyone involved, because I do have a lot of players to bounce around. And again, the big worry is relievers, so I really might have to put in relievers for, like, an out at times. We'll have to wait and see. Because I want to, like I said, I want to get everyone involved, but there was just so many names I wanted to include, and there's so many names I still couldn't include. For various reasons. Like if I could have, because some of them are real prospects like Dorian Soto and stuff, like I would have loved to include guys like that, but they just don't have cards. And again, I'll talk about that when we get to the notables without names, because someone is going to be playing a position and they barely were with the team. But the guys that were with the team, they don't have cards, at least not anymore. And that'll all make more sense when we get there. But for now, George Kirby just doing his thing. Jackson Holiday shaded up the middle, makes a nice play there. And that'll end the first. George Kirby with a nice inning. We get back to the bats. Steven Matz will come out. And we get Riley Green ready to go. I have now a 1 average. My only hit with this card is a home run. I had not used it. I had just got it for this video. And now he's 2 for 2. Let's go. I might even sell the card back after this video is done, honestly. And yeah, Harry Ford's going to get an at-bat here. Our other catcher. Oh, good swing, but a little under it. Yeah. Okay. It would have been cool if we could have, like, hit it on a line, pesky pulled it or something, but it's all right. Harry gave it a little bit of a ride. We have Caglione still here, though, because he didn't really get anything going in that first game. Good pitch there by Matz. Yeah, this is going to be the pure gameplay video, man. We get to enjoy souped-up cards, talking about our franchise, reminiscing. Before we move on to MLB 26, should be an exciting year. I know a lot of people are, not happy about graphics and stuff as usual, but and also there are a lot of people online that are like, well, the reason you guys are like, well, I like baseball, so I buy it every year is like you're the problem. It's like, well, this is the baseball video game. I don't know what you want me to say. It's not like our fault that MLB only licenses to one studio anymore. Like, MLB The Show is the one that makes the most profit year after year. Man, Jack Caglione has just not gotten anything done in this video yet. Oh my goodness. And he's probably getting pulled for the next game, so. Oh, sorry. Sorry, George. You had a good inning. I got to pull you, though. We got to get everyone involved. So, after George, I'm finally going to bring in Edwin Uceta, especially since he also got traded to the Red Sox. Seems fitting. Seems very fitting with Jackson Merrill. And also, the closer we'll bring in, also traded to the Red Sox. I made a lot more trades with the Red Sox, despite how much big game I talked of not trading with AL East teams. The Red Sox just had a lot of players I wanted, I suppose. It was risky, too, because, again, we were facing them every year in the playoffs. Luckily, every single fucking year, we were good enough to take them down. But it really was a risky move to trade a lot of players to them. But, again, I feel like every time I traded someone to them, except for Jackson Merrill, it was someone past the prime. It was someone who was not going to, like, excel more than he did here, usually. You said I had, like, one good year, and then I think he walked from the Red Sox anyway. It might have been the same with Mason Miller, who is going to be the closer. Aaron Duran, man, it's kind of weird to see him in a Red Sox uni because I forgot we never saw him. Wow, I let 2 steals happen on me. But we never saw him because he got traded pretty early on to the Pirates for Zaire Hope, who we did see a lot of. I think is a real prospect. We strike out Duran. Uceta closes it despite being a silver card. So, that's some more good stuff there. That's some more stuff. Boom, another reliever done. We're working through him. Jazz Chisholm back up. Oh, Jazz ripped that. Is that going to pesky pull? Is that going to go over the wall? No, it dies at the track, man. Jazz gave it a ride, but not deep enough. I missed the Jazz homers, bro. They were so satisfying to watch. Oh, we get Jackson back up. And Jackson will fill in for the other second baseman. Jackson, the home kid, the homegrown kid, the replacement for Jazz, he'll go yard. And add on, make it 3-0. Orioles. Now Gunner, man. We got to get something going with Gunner. That was the pitch to get something going on. I heard a creak at my door, and I thought someone was going to bust in on me. Oh, there we go. That's going to be off the monster. Gunner off the monster. Can we get a double out of it? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it throws offline. Gunner's in there, baby. We got an extra base hit with our captain. The man, the myth, the legend. Just so good, bro. Brian Reynolds, ready to go. I got to get myself a Gunner jersey, bro. I swear. Reynolds gives this one a ride to the deepest part of the yard. Yeah, it's in that triples corner, which is not enough to leave over that short wall. But Gunner will tag, so we have a runner at third with 2 down. That brings up Adley Rushman for another shot. And I swung at a bad pitch. Unfortunate. Well, we'll go to the bottom of the third and try to close this out with a shutout against the Red Sox. Might even be a no-hit. No, it's not a no-hitter. We gave up a hit. Never mind. Well, we'll bring in Mason Miller, though. Another guy we traded to the Red Sox, but he was good in his tenure with us. Our other closer, baby. We never really had a true closer quite like Felix or Mason Miller. And also, we're pitching Cedane Rafaela, who we did have for a very little bit of time. He had a 8-year contract, but he was just really bad with us. And I feel like throughout that entire contract, I think he ended up with the Rangers or something. He was just never really good. Unfortunately, I hit him, though, and put him on base. He might steal. Oh, or we're going to double play ball here. Caglione to second for one. Henderson back to first. Mason Miller wins the foot race. 3-6-1 double play. Just like that, Mason Miller back in the driver's seat. Circle change in there. Romy Gonzalez. Another strike on the fastball. And maybe we'll close this out with the curve. No, they'll foul it off. Blue Deals, strike three. Orioles take 2 dubs so far. This one is a 3-0 win over the Red Sox, a team we had faced many times in the playoffs, and we stayed dominant over them. Now we're going to sub in all of the extra guys we have. I'm going to switch up the bullpen a little bit, switch out the guys that have been used. We're going to hop into our second home game. And yeah, we're going to get some more fun players in the mix. So I'm very excited about that. So I will see you guys very shortly. Again, more stuff that was fun in this one. Jackson Holiday homer, Brian Reynolds homer, Gunnar Henderson now on the board with a double, and the pitching still solid. So yeah, that will do it for the game 2. I'll see you guys in game 3 with the sub team. Okay, guys, so I didn't really show the team changes the second time, but I am going to show them right now. So this is the first sub team, and we're probably going to have, well, I have, another game planned for some other sub guys because not everyone fits in here, just position-wise. But, so Gunnar and Jackson stay where they are. We had Kobe Mayo to third base, so he gets to play with us. We got Aaron Judge in the DH spot for the funsies. And I get to use this new card, which I've barely gotten to use, his Topps Now Cover Athlete card. Kyle Teal is taking over again at catcher. We have Guerrero over at first base. We have Jason Dominguez back out in right to give him some more playtime. Cody Bellinger will be manning center field, so we get to use him. And we get Steven Kwan out in left. So this is the first team. And then we have 2 guys on the bench that are different, are Colt Keith and Matt Olson. Our other 2 sub-ins, so yeah, they probably won't get to play, but we'll see. Because like I said, I don't really plan to sub out Gunnar or Jackson. You could change defensive positions, I suppose. So we will see. But otherwise, there's going to be other games ahead for them to get their chance in the spotlight. And then otherwise, I did change some guys in the rotation. So we have the next set of dudes besides these 3 that need to be used. Jason Foley, Sam Henches, Mason Montgomery, Brian Hudson, and Will Vest, which is so funny how dominant my bullpen was in franchise. When you actually look at them in Diamond Dynasty, holy crud, do they look terrible. 69 Sean Reynolds, 71 Jason Foley, 72 Henches, 64 overall common Mason Montgomery, bro. Like, it's crazy. But one thing I will say, someone who will not be making an appearance is Jojo Ingracia. Now, I didn't realize I fucked up. Now, Jojo Ingracia is a real player, but he is a minor leaguer. He does not have a card in Diamond Dynasty. I was confusing him with, I was confusing him with Jojo Romero, who is a current Major League relief pitcher. So they're both Jojo, and I confused them both. So Jojo Ingracia will not be making an appearance in this video. My bad. I kept his stats for nothing. That's on me. But either way, just wanted to show you the update on the team as we move into Game 3. We'll be back home again in this one, another mini-seasons game. So I'll see you there in just a second. All right, guys, here we are hopping into the next game, another home game. So we're back in mini-seasons. I forgot about that and had to rebuild the entire roster. It's fine. Wait, we're not home. I just haven't been playing the Lemurs away or home twice and then away. Well, okay. 1 second. I'm gonna actually quit and then we're gonna get into a home game. My bad. Okay, sorry about that, guys. This is all like live edited with like the OBS pause feature, so sorry about that mistake. We are back in a home game. We are back at Oriole Park, Camden Yards. We're wearing the black unis. We got Jacob Misiorowski on the mound. Of course, he won a Cy Young for us in 2032, which was again really surprising. And Jackson Holiday is going to make a fucking web gem to start the game. Absolutely insane. After Misiorowski had immediately given up a perfect, got me a little scared. But yeah, so we got a lot of sub guys in as we showed. We got Misiorowski. We're going to try to get more bullpen guys in. As usual, I don't know if at a point, like I said, I'm going to have to start like putting in multiple guys an inning. I think there'll be enough games to compensate with all the games I plan to play. So we should actually be able to get every single pitcher involved. Especially since I'm getting all the sub guys in like 1, maybe 2 games max. Like, I think I expected 3 games to fit all the subs in, but I think we're actually going to be able to move along a little quicker. Yeah, I got Jason Dominguez back in the leadoff spot. Like I said, trying to make these lineups as close as I can to what they would have been if these guys were all on the team at the same time. Kobe Mayo, good to see him back. He hit a monstrous 3-run shot in Game 1 of the ALDS in 25 against the Yankees. Cody Bellinger, who's actually on the roster right now, of course, would be on our team later. But he had hit a big 3-run shot to make it 4-0 Yankees, and Kobe Mayo's home run put us right back in it. And then Cedric Mullins, bro. I didn't even get him. We're going to have to throw him in for sure. Like, I forgot about him completely, so unfortunately, I don't have any of his stats. But arguably, before Henderson, it was Mullins, man. So, oh my God, I can't even believe I had forgotten about Cedric Mullins, dude. That is insane. We're going to definitely get Cedric Mullins in the next game, then. He's just got to be in this video. Holy crap. I'm actually, like, shocked at myself that I forgot. But no, we ain't relegating him to the notables without stats. Like, although technically he was a big part of the Orioles prior. Oh, you know what? 1, I had left Mizurowski in. And 2, Vladdy just hit a nuke. Okay, let's bring in Morahone, because we have a lefty now anyway, and we haven't got Morahone in. Yeah, so that was the problems I had with Jacob Mizurowski on display. Can we come back and win this, or will we collect our first loss? Can we tie and go to extras? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Morahone looked very good in that first at-bat. He's going to face Carlos Correa. And this team is like a 76 overall team in the Forever mini-season, so yeah. Just because I wanted to throw in some home games where we get to play at Camden Yards, but not do full 9-inning games, especially when we can't rotate a lot of guys outside of maybe bullpen where you could put a different guy every inning. So it's like I needed some way to get some home games in since Conquest games are always on the road. And we work a full count on Correa, and I hadn't been throwing the fastball because this Morahone has 5 pitches. So there we go. Fastball is all we needed to finish the job against Correa. We get 2 outs. Just got to get Alan Trammell now. And Trammell's going to get a base hit to keep the inning going. Tough. Yeah, I said the last few times we had been having some bad luck with the black uniforms, I swear. And that one gets by. Oh my goodness. We do have a lefty in Soderstrom, though, so we'd be better to leave Morahone in. Kyle Teal is behind the dish, so I really don't know why that got by. Well, we get the K. No worries with Trammell on base. We stay alive. But Guerrero Jr., who was on our team as well, hits a home run. But now we get to see Aaron Judge in, not 40 years old, and souped up to the max compared to the version we used. And hey, he hit a grand slam in that postseason that he got to play, so who knows? Maybe we can tie this game right up with Judgy. I'd love to see that. I mean, the Judge signing was we were cutting a lot of money off of arbitration guys. I think we had traded Vance Honeycutt, and we had traded away Kellen Lindsay. Like, we were cutting a lot of salary, and Judge was so much cheaper, and still was a decent DH. Especially since we didn't really have a proper DH. All right, Cody Bellinger rips one to right, and it gets a deflection off the glove of Soto, so we do get a runner on here. Bellinger fired up. Nice to see. Might be able to steal with Belly, too. We have Vladdy up now. Oh, Vladdy laces that one to right center, doing more of what he did in Orioles franchise. Vladdy with an RBI double. This game is tied at 1. And they're going to finally bring in a new pitcher. Hunter Harvey steps in. Face Jackson Holiday in the 7th spot.
Hunter Harvey.
Swing and a miss for Jackson.
0-1.
Well, I hope actually we can get through this, because if we go to the 3rd inning, Steven Kwan will have not gotten an AB. Oh, I don't like that off the bat of Jackson. If we stay tied, then Kwan will definitely get an AB in the bottom of the 3rd. So, Kyle Teal against a righty. So, I mean, if Kyle Teal gets on as well, though, then Kwan will also just get an AB. So it's either tie game and we keep moving, or it's Kwan will get in the bat in the bottom. Like, it's either or. Kwan should get an AB. And I was on a line, so Kwan's going to get an AB at the bottom of the 3rd, so he might have a chance to walk it off. 1 run, 2 hits apiece. And they're going to bring in Tyler O'Neill, who was on our team in 2025. Let's go to Sean Reynolds, because Evan Phillips I want to have, since he's one of our few 90 overalls left. Our bullpen, again, in Diamond Dynasty, pretty rough compared to what it was in the actual franchise. That's also the fun of it, man. You get to see different players be stars. Sean Reynolds with a nice shutdown strikeout there on Tyler O'Neill. Now we deal with Jeff McNeil. No longer a Met, man. He's going to be an A this year. It's crazy. Forgot about that. 1 and 2. Need a clean inning out of Reynolds. And hit up the middle. So Jeff McNeil gets aboard. Go-ahead run on base. I mean, technically the go-ahead run is at the plate anyway, but yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Can Sean Reynolds get through this inning, or will he give up another hit?
0-2.
Strike 3. Sean Reynolds with the K on Gurriel Jr. Now Juan Soto. Honestly, risky move here. I'm going to walk Soto. Let's get the Vladdy, bro. Yeah, I think now is actually when I bring in Evan Phillips. We need the power pitching. Start with a cutter. Strike 2 on Vladdy. That was kind of a scary pitch.
0-2.
And strike 3. Evan Phillips shuts it down. Probably be able to keep him out there for at least a couple outs. Yeah, that gets some more of the bullpen use. We get Morahone and Sean Reynolds in action. And then we'll be able to make like an all-star fucking bullpen, so. But Steven Kwan gets his AB here late.
The left fielder, Steven Kwan.
Against Pete Fairbanks.
Now catching. Number 8.
And Kwan is going to ground out to second. Unfortunate. 1 away. So we actually might see an extra innings game here, man. Ooh, swing and a miss for Jason. I would hit so well with Jason, man. I mean, there was the game in the playoffs. We had like a four-hit night. Broken bat, foul. Just under that pitch, too. Otherwise, probably would have been a walk-off homer. Ow! My fucking foot, Pete. Jeez. Okay, Kobe Mayo. We're going to pinch hit for Kobe Mayo because I want a lefty in the situation, so we will go to Colt Keith. And it's the Moonshot card, although 87 overall Moonshot is intriguing. So sorry, Kobe Mayo. I'm going to bring in Colt Keith now. And he's going to ground it. It's a double play, bro. That's tough. That's tough. The bench did not work there.
Leading off for the Lemurs, the center fielder, Jim Edmonds.
Okay. Jim Edmonds, yeah, I mean, extra innings, it's a lefty, but we'll keep Evan Phillips in for now because I don't want to just give him 1 out. Sean Reynolds at least got like a decent appearance, even if he didn't get all the outs. Good cutter. And foul. Swing and a miss on the fastball. There we go, Phillips. Now we go against Correa. Not a great pitch to Correa there, but fine. Swing and a miss on the sweeper. Do it again. Did he go? Oh, they said he didn't. Okay. Fastball. Damn. 2-2. Fouled away. Guerrero ain't getting there. Pull up. Fastball gets by Correa. Phillips gets the K. Phillips tired, so if he doesn't get the out here... I thought I saw him running, so I got a little nervous there. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Phillips with a shutdown. 4 outs. Absolutely beautiful. All right, Gunner now in a spot he could walk off the game. That's nice. That would be an awesome Gunner moment to have in the bonus video. Oh my God, we might have got it. We're a little under, but we might have got it over the short wall. We did, baby. Gunnar Henderson at home. Still doing it in the bonus episode, the 99 finest card. 2-run walk-off homer. And we get to celebrate once again with Gunnar Henderson, man. How awesome. Even if it is with the sub-team. Some of the weirder players. And ignore, like, Trey Savage and shit. I had to rebuild the team when I refreshed the mini-season, so there's just some random pitchers here. But, yeah, Gunner, opposite field homer. We did a lot of that, and he's still just killing it, baby. Love to see it. That's such an awesome Gunner moment in the Diamond Dynasty episode. So, yeah, all right. We take another win. What was this one? 3-something? 3-1? Yeah, should have been. And we got a bunch of pitchers in here. Yeah, 3-1. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next away game. I'm gonna change up some more of the subs around and players so we can, get a lot more guys out there, and and then we'll really batten down with the couple more teams. But still going, still having fun. All right, guys. Here we are in the next one, which I will probably have to do a third sub team anyway. But we are playing the Cleveland Guardians. Now we didn't really face the Guardians too much, nor do we really have beef with them, but we did get Riley Green from them, and they did beat us in a year they won the World Series. So, and also just lined up with a conquest I had in progress with 3 teams that were in ways impactful in the Orioles franchise. So, Cleveland it is for this one. We got Cody Bellinger leading off here. We got Matt Olson subbed in. I wanted to give Kobe Mayo and Stephen Kwan one more game because they didn't really get to play much. Cody, I thought he had that one, but apparently not. To the track it goes. Vladimir Guerrero also another shot. Judge a little bit more of a shot. So, but otherwise, almost every player has been used. Of course, I will get Cedric Mullins in probably in sub game 3, and I'll give like Colt Keith a full game and whatnot. So, I'm really just trying to switch up a lot of the guys around. So we also have Adley Rushman back on this team.
Gunnar Henderson.
All right, come on, Gunnar. Let's get something going. Swung at a high pitch. Expected it to drop in. Also, some good contact. That was bad, but, the good contact on the other 2 from Bellinger and Vladdy. But, one just did the warning track, died, and the other one straight to the pitcher. So, okay, no hits to start. And, yeah, we got Yamamoto on the mound for this one. Like I said, I'm trying to save Paul Skeens for, the very last game since he was our ace. So, honestly, I might, with the third sub game, I might throw in one of the notables pitchers to lighten the load of that, because I might not get everyone in that game in. But I should be able to finish up all the bullpen arms within these next 2 games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we get to use Yamamoto, which is fun because he has this 99 card for being, of course, World Series MVP. And, he was really dominant in his 1 game with us, or his 1 year with us, half year with us. Instrumental, of course, in the World Series run. And I'll give up a hit here. Why do I suck at giving up hits in Diamond Dynasty, though? Jeez. I feel like I do a lot worse in this than I do in the franchise. most of the time. Most of the time. Let's clarify. Got face J-Ram. He wasn't even on the Guardians the whole time. He went to the Rangers, and then I think he was also with the White Sox in the Orioles franchise. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't the same franchise, but I know the Rangers he was with for a while. I think he signed a contract there. I think in real life he's already signed an extension with Cleveland. All right, clean inning from Yamamoto. Only one hit given up. We got to get ourselves on the board, and Aaron Judge will get another chance to do so. Yeah, you don't throw that pitch to Judge, bro. And that's all I wanted to see from Aaron. Big home run into the bleachers, in left, and gets us on the board 1-0. The power on this card's insane. I love you, Judge. Absolute nuke. Joey Cantillo now, and we'll get Matt Olson a chance here. Yeah, I'm Judge out and right, I'm going to be honest. I know he didn't play right for us, but to just get people to fit in certain spots, we're playing around with it a little bit, okay? So we had Vladdy at DH and Olson at first. Okay, and then we get Adley. Another chance, 1 out. Fortunately, Olson also died pretty deep in the outfield. And I'm under that one, the left. So 1 good hit and 2 flyouts. And now Jackson at the 7 spot. All right, taking side. Want to get on so I can use the wheels with Jackson. One time, oh, damn it. Because it was like the one time I was going to, I swung with Gunner and it was a flyout, so. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Jackson and Gunner are going to be in every game of this, so. But yeah, Aaron Judge puts us on the board. The guy who was our 40-year-old DH. Sorry, Yamamoto. I am going to pull you after the 1 inning because we have to get more guys in. So that's going to be probably... So we have righty switch lefty. So it really doesn't matter who we put in then. Let's throw Mason Montgomery in since he's our lowest overall. And it'll be okay, I suppose, in the 2nd inning if he gives up a run. Yep, David Fry gave that one a ride to left. Yeah, I just can't believe Mason Montgomery's a common. I guess he's not as good in real life as he was in our sim. And he's wearing 48. Hey, that's Roman Anthony's number, bro. You can't wear that. I actually don't know what number he wore in the franchise. I don't remember. Oh, he's freezing them, bro. They don't know what to do. He's just too good. It's the delivery. Look at that. Frozen. Can't even swing. Get through a righty and the switch hitter. Now we just have the lefty to contend with. And it's Bo Naylor. I said Bo Nix. Wrong sport. Fastball, foul back. 0-2. Is Mason Montgomery going to have a shutdown inning, bro? Oh, so close to it. He did. Mason Montgomery. Absolute shutdown inning from the common. Unbelievable. What a goat. What a goat. Well, you know what? If I don't want to use Paul Skeens, actually, I can also throw in a bullpen arm as a starter, I suppose. I don't think that should be necessary, though. Steven Kwan just not lucky today. All right, Kobe Mayo gets another swing at it, though. Only up by 1. Anything could happen. Game is not shut. Oh, unless Kobe Mayo just shut it. Is that going to be gone? Kobe Mayo with a homer. Over the shorter walls and right. Still like 370. Yeah, 389 that ball went. Kobe Mayo, he gets something on the board. We get Cody Bellinger yet again. And Cody Bellinger goes back to back. So, said it wasn't shut. And now we have a 2-run insurance lead. Bellinger adds on with a big swing. He didn't miss that one. Brings out Hunter Gaddis for Guerrero. He lobbed that one up to Guerrero, but I don't think that one's going to carry as well. Yeah, no. Just under the ball, unfortunately. But yeah, we got some bats, get some action, which is nice. Gunner has had his moment already, but he could do more. Pitch runs inside. Looks like the pitches I would get in franchise as well. Fouled back.
Ball two.
Okay. Well, we're up 3-0, so should take this game, no problem. Oh, not Mason Montgomery. Sorry, you did your work, man. You don't gotta do nothing more. You don't have to do anything more, man. We need a righty in here. Let's go to Jason Foley. Hasn't been used, so yeah, let's bring in Jason Foley. Yeah, that was the thing. The card has him like clean shaven, no hair, but every time we used him, he had the long hair and the mustache. So it's like it doesn't even look like the same person. He looks more like like a thin Andrew Chafin. Oh, is that? Oh, that was called foul? Wow, that's crazy. Come on, Foley, you can do it. Doesn't have a lot of energy, Foley. Yeah, got the K there with the 97 fastball. Beautiful. Okay. And grounded to third. Oh, no! Mayo misplays it. Mayo misplays it. That's an error, buddy. Oh, come on, Kobe. Kobe. Come on, man. Don't screw up Jason Foley like this. One swing makes it 3-2. Lane Thomas. Bro, wasn't he in the fucking team too? I loved Lane Thomas on the team. Well, double play. We get it done. Like to see it. Why can't I remember if Lane Thomas was part of Orioles franchise? I think he was. And I remember really liking him. God, there's so many guys I'd like to use. I mean, I guess nothing's really stopping me, I suppose. But yeah, that's the next game. 3-0 win over the Guardians. We're going to move on to the next one with some more substitutions. All right, guys. Few more games to go. This next one is the final substitution team game. And this one is going to be against the Mariners. The Mariners we had formed kind of a rivalry with over the, decade because we faced them a lot in the playoffs. We faced them a lot on opening day. So we are going to be facing them here. And we have Cedric Mullins in the lineup. I could not 100% confirm that we had Lane Thomas, and I can't really scrub through the VOD right now. So I think I'm just going to not do Lane Thomas, unfortunately. But we're going to do a bullpen game to use up some of the rest of our bullpen guys because I have to get Porter Hodge in here as well. Although we're probably going to be using some of those guys. I don't know. We'll have to wait and really see. But yeah, we have Cedric Mullins back in, and I swung at a bad pitch to start. So, yeah, he might be on the bench for the Notables team, but hopefully we can do something with him, man. We had to have Cedric Mullins be a part of this in some way, shape, or form because he's just an Orioles icon, and although I don't have his stats, and he was only with us for the 1 year or 1.5 years before we got rid of him. He still won a World Series with us. He was before Gunnar really took over as the cornerstone. It was Cedric Mullins, and I think that was the case in real life too. Before he got traded with the Mets, it was kind of crazy to see him leave the Orioles for real. But we knew in the franchise that we wanted to keep winning. We were not going to be able to hold on to him, especially as he got older. So yeah, we had to get him involved in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, so nothing going so far. We also have Colt Keith actually in this game, and then I brought back Roman Anthony. And we have Harry Ford against his former team, so that feels somewhat fitting. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. And fouled away. All right, still fighting with Gunnar. That brings me back to a big Gunnar moment. There's a base hit for Gunnar. I was say it brings me back to the big Gunnar moment. We had one. I don't remember if it was the DS or the CS. I want to say it was the DS in one of the years. I can't remember which one exactly. I want to say 29. But we went deep into extras, just could not get anything going. Back and forth pitchers duel, and Gunnar broke the tie with a big home run. Cody Bellinger, of course, we did a big 3-run home run to put us ahead even more. But yeah, Gunnar's home run was instrumental in winning that series, winning that game. And that's a bad swing. So Gunnar's base hit goes to waste, unfortunately. I want to do something with Vladdy, bro. I mean, I know we have one RBI hit, but we'd like to do more. But yeah, we have a bullpen game here since I'm trying to save Skeens, and we also have a bunch more pitchers to use with the Notables team that also might make their way into the final game likely, since we'll probably make use of every bullpen guy. Yeah, like I said, just trying to get everyone involved. So we have Sam Henches to start this game against the Mariners. And then I had to switch in Porter Hodge into the rotation, or into the bullpen, so we can get him involved as well. Matt Olson's still manning first, so he can maybe try another chance at doing something. And yeah, just going to try to win another game. We are 3-0 so far, I think. Is it 4-0? How many games have we fucking played? 3? I think it is. No, it is 4. Yeah, we're 4-0. And we have won by 3 runs with 4 total, again, 4-1. Then we 3-0'd the Red Sox, 3-1'd in mini seasons, and then 3-0'd the Cleveland Guardians. I don't know why my dog is barking. I don't know what just happened. I thought I heard a rumble, but I don't know what it was. I'm just going to keep pitching for now. Hopefully everything's okay. Hedges! We're going to miss. At 0-2. Let's get big dumper, brother. Nope.
1-2.
Swing and a miss. There we go. Henches with a nice inning. So, bullpen game working out so far. Henches gives us a good first inning. Alrighty, we have Matt Olson against Gabe Spire now. Still nothing, only 1 hit. Oh, I tried to check and they said I went around. Unfortunate. Alright, that one's in. Okay, there we go. Matt Olson with a knock. He gets something done. Not the power we saw from him in the franchise, but hey, still a little base hit there. We're not going to pinch run for him just because I don't really think I have anyone good to replace him that can play first. Now we have Colt Keith. Yeah, they went with Gabe Spire because we have so many lefties at the bottom of this lineup, which was a problem for us during franchise, was just how many lefty-heavy lineups we had. Because we had Riley Green, we had Roman Anthony, like Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, all lefties. But, okay, that ball gets by him. That's pretty nice. And Colt Keith will actually get an RBI triple. So there you go. Colt Keith gets something, and it's the Cards' first triple. That's cool. Yeah, getting a lot of guys involved, which is nice. And Jackson adds some insurance. Probably should have on that pitch. Oh, boy, missed that one. It's also nice to be taking it a little easier and playing on veteran compared to all-star. And yeah, we get a base hit with Jackson, RBI single, 2-0, and we'll be able to flash the wheels with Jackson, I think, because this card is so much better than his summer one. 95 speed. Oh, no, the steal is down on this card, actually. Yeah, we'll still go for it. He's got the speed. Up and in, and Jackson is in there with a stolen bag. There we go. We saw a lot of that in the franchise as well. Now can Roman Anthony cash in? Oh, just under that fastball. I don't think it's going to be able to. And we're not going to tag on that either because it's offline, but it's fine. Wasn't going to risk that one. Caleb Ferguson will face Cody unless we can, we can go to Jason Dominguez off the bench. Because Cody's done stuff. He's got a homer, so let's get Jason in here. We'll get the better matchup. And there you go. Jason Dominguez, 2-run shot, baby. We're up 4-0. Just like that. So the pinch hit works well. 2 longtime teammates share a hug. And then Cedric Mullins will get one more chance to bat. Well, not one more, actually, but at least one more. Okay, but we should actually swing at a good pitch with Cedric. Oh, he's wearing 28, too. He's not wearing 31 because this is the Mets card.
1-1.
All right, 1-1 on Mullins. Oh, just below the zone. Can't get it. Can't get a good piece of it. Fouled away. Rolled over, but foul. Come on. Outside, 2-2. We're working a good count with Mullins. No, a chopper from Cedric. It's going to get played by Crawford. And that's going to be another out. All right, Harry. Another chance. Ah, I'm under it. Fuck. Well, we still put up 4. We put up some good swings there. We had the nice triple with Colt Keith on the misplay after the Matt Olson single. We had a single from Jackson Holiday. He got to steal. And then Jason Dominguez off the bench with a 2-run shot for nothing. And we'll pull Henches from the game now. And we will bring in who needs to go. Brian Hudson, Will Vest. We got righty, lefty, righty. So we're going to go to Will Vest in this situation. Who is probably our last good bullpen pitcher in terms of him being a silver. I believe both Porter Hodge and Brian Hudson are bronzes. Although I think Brian Hudson is a slightly higher bronze. And it's interesting because Porter Hodge, he was part of that no-hitter. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 years ago. But the combined no-no, he got a Topps Now card that was pretty solid.
0-1.
But yeah, this is what we loved out of Vest. He just had good heat. He had fast breaking stuff and a really quick delivery. So it's easy to catch batters off guard when the ball's coming at you so quickly out of the stretch.
It's 0-1.
0-2 on Rosarena. And swing and a miss. Will Vest with an absolutely shutdown performance there. Gunner is coming back to bat.
Pitching for the Mariners,
Casey Legumina.
number 64. Casey Legumina.
Legumina? Thought it'd be like Lagoon. Inside? Alright, Gunner. Come on, Gunner. Oh, he's 1 for 1 today anyway. He had that hard hit, perfect single. Oh, late. So late on a sinker just because that movement fooled me. Ah, shit. Okay, it's fine. Just want to do more, my boy. Well, we'll still have chances. Yeah, actually, the only team that's not gonna have Gunner or Jackson on it, I'm pretty, as far as I remember from drafting it out, is the Notables Without Stats team. Because I actually have someone for second and short. Just because I wanted a completely unique team of notable names who, you know, brought some sort of impact to the team. But I didn't keep stats for, and they retired, so I can't get the stats. Something that I really don't like about MLB The Show compared to some other older baseball games, I really don't like the way they erase stats the moment a player retires. I think you should always be able to access the Hall of Fame, access the retirees. I guess the idea is like the game would like overflow from all that data being held or something, but I don't know. Older games had some of that stuff, so I'm really not sure. Colt Keith almost had another. I didn't like not paying attention talking about it. We just get the 2 on with Guerrero and Olsen. Now we have Colt Keith another chance. Oh, just under that one. It goes just shy of the track. Give it a ride, Colt. Give it a ride. Can't be mad about that. All right, Jackson back up, though. Jackson gets another opportunity to do something big. Although he did have a home run already in this. Dude, down the middle, center cut fucking cutter. Oh, my goodness. Chopper up the middle. That's a
Now batting, the right fielder, Roman.
All right, Roman Anthony. Oh, come on. No, I'm under it. Ugh, I wanted the Roman Anthony Grand Slam so bad. That would have been awesome. That would have been electric. All right, well, let's bring in Brian Hudson to close this one out because he's a lefty.
Now pitching,
1 pitch, 1 out.
Brian Hudson.
All right, Hudson with the K. All right, 1 second. Fouled away by Crawford. That one slammed off the bat, man. Oh my goodness. J.P. Crawford crushed that one off Brian Hudson with 2 outs. If that had also left, man, I probably would have brought in Porter Hodge. Otherwise, he'll get into a different game. Otherwise, Porter Hodge will probably make an appearance in the final game at this rate. Oh, Matt Olson with the stop, and we win it 4-1. Very nice. So, another dub on the board. And then when we go back to the menu, as we've closed out another, and yeah, only Porter Hodge has not seen the field, and Paul Skeens, but we have another team, and it is the Notables without stats. So I will introduce that team and explain some stuff before we hop into that game, and then we'll have one more game to go before we close out officially on Orioles franchise. So, see you guys in just a moment. Alright guys, here we are. Here is the Notables without stats team. We're going to cover it quickly because there is no stats to cover. We have Kyle Bradish in the starting rotation. He is an actual Orioles pitcher, and he was instrumental in helping us win in 25, and I think he stuck around a little bit of 26. But, yeah, he has a really good card in Diamond Dynasty, and he was a good pitcher for us early on before we eventually said goodbye. But, yeah, given he's a real Oriole, and he was an Oriole that actually helped us win a World Series, it's good he's on here. Sandy Alcantara, we had him for a little bit of time. He was pretty good when he was with us until he started to trail off a little bit. He got better when he left, unfortunately. But the fact that we had Cy Young winner Sandy Alcantara in the first place was a really cool experience. And yeah, he did have some pretty good stats with us. Matt Manning was the first that kind of spawned this whole thing because Matt Manning retired before I could even get his stats. He's a pitcher I tend to go with a lot in franchises because he tends to sim pretty well most of the time. Unfortunately, he started to regress a lot quicker than I expected, and he didn't end up sticking around as long as I had hoped he would, but he was pretty solid for us for a good little time there. Cody Bradford, we traded for him at one point, and he was instrumental in helping us win the 2026 World Series, so he's on here as well. Quinn Priester and Jared Jones, 2 guys that we had sent to the Red Sox, both pretty decently notable names with good cards in Diamond Dynasty who had helped us win World Series, but they weren't great in following years, leading us to trading them away, and they ended up performing a lot better other places, unfortunately. Now, the starting 9. We got, at first base, Michael Busch. We had him for a little bit, then we got rid of him, and then we brought him back, and we got rid of him again. He was very good at times, but then he also was streaky at times. However, he still helped us win a few World Series, and I'm still glad to have him as part of the team. I don't think I have, I don't have anything about him at all. I have some joke ones, but yeah, Michael Busch did help us win, and he was pretty important in the playoffs, but he was streaky overall in the regular season, which is why he did not stay a Oriole for very long. Second base, Christian Moore. Christian Moore is a fill-in spot because he is a Diamond Dynasty card. I wanted to throw in Kellen Lindsey. I wrote Rip Kellen Lindsey, but Kellen Lindsey does not have a Diamond Dynasty card in MLB The Show 25 because he's a prospect. What I was thinking of was this 2024 draft card that was in, that was in Madden. Oh my God, that was in MLB 24. He was drafted 23rd overall by the Dodgers, which is where we got him from. And he was a great pinch runner for us, and he did have some good offensive moments, but overall, he wasn't an amazing player, but he was still notable for how long he had stuck around with the organization before we finally said goodbye, and he did have some very important spots as a pinch runner, getting into scoring position that led us to winning games. Here's proof that Christian Moore was in the thing. I had to look so long to find out that he was actually on the team. Then other notable thing I found was that Vance Honeycutt actually had a card in 24, a draft card. I didn't remember that. And the fact that Kellen Lindsey and Vance Honeycutt are 22nd and 23rd overall, and they were both on the Orioles together, just thought that was a fun little thing. So yeah, that's why Christian Moore is the second baseman, mainly because Kellen Lindsey doesn't have a card this year. Otherwise, it probably would have been Kellen Lindsey, because we've pretty much caught all of the other second basemen that we could use. Shortstop, Geraldo Perdomo. I completely forgot we had Geraldo Perdomo, but when I actually looked at his stats, looked through some parts of the VODs, he was actually a pretty solid player for us. He bounced around from shortstop at sometimes when Gunnar was injured, to third base, to second base. He pretty much played wherever I needed him to, and honestly, his offense was good. I think just he wanted more money than maybe I was willing to offer, and we had Jackson, we had Gunnar. So he didn't really have a spot. And I think especially after we had arbitration from Junior Caminero is what I'm thinking is when we got rid of him because, yeah, his money just wasn't worth it to someone who was still on arbitration and was still really cheap. So, but it's good to notice that Geraldo Perdomo was a pretty solid part of the team. Jordan Westberg, he was also a pretty decent part of the team early on, helping us win those first few World Series. Eventually, we traded him, though, because he was kind of injury prone. He went on the IL for a long time before we ended up trading him to the Rays. Or actually, I think he got injured after we traded him to the Rays. But yeah, Jordan Westberg was still pretty important, still a good hitter early on. He just didn't stay in Oriole for long because he couldn't really stay on the field and he was getting older and there was better options out there. So that's why Jordan Westberg did not stay with the team. We had Kobe Mayo, we had Dorian Soto on the come up, especially after drafting and whatnot. Like I'm just saying we had depth or other directions we could have went, which is why he didn't stay. Then at catcher, Cal Raleigh, he was barely with the team, I think, for like a year. I think he was only with us for a year. I think we traded for him in the offseason, and then we had him during the season. He did put up decent homer numbers. He did put up a positive WAR, if I remember correctly, but his average was low. His hits were lower. He was regressing. I didn't want to pay the money for him, so we shipped him away with his last contract year. That's when we went after Kyle Teal and Harry Ford to stick around, and instead of having Cal Raleigh. But I thought Cal Raleigh was going to be the replacement for Adley Rushman, but no, Big Dumper didn't turn out that way. But we get to use his really solid card in Diamond Dynasty right now in the catcher spot. Pete Alonso is our DH, one of the worst contracts in this Oriole franchise. We signed him to 3 years, around $52 million, I want to say, and he really underperformed that first year. He had the same amount of hits as strikeouts, although he put up a 30-homer season, and he only put up .5 WAR compared to the 2 previous years where he put up 2.1. His defense and bat were just not enough to warrant the $18 million a year, so we traded him to the Dodgers for a prospect haul. Yeah, he was not an Oriole for long, and he didn't win anything with us. But it's Pete Alonso, notable name. We'll get him back in here. Jason Churio, an actual very important team player that I just didn't end up taking the stats for because I kind of forgot he had a card. But he was with the team for a long time, won multiple World Series, was a great pinch hitter, was great in the DH spot when we didn't really have a solid DH. He played good outfield defense. Jason Churio was a great team player. Of course, we ended up beating him with the Giants in the World Series. That's where he signed because we didn't have the money to keep him. His arbitration kept going up, and I had other options from Roman Anthony, Riley Green, Jason Dominguez. There was nowhere for him to go. Same with Vance Honeycutt. Same with Jacob Berry, just nowhere for these guys to go. So we let Jason Churio walk, actually be a starter somewhere else, but he was a invaluable piece of the roster. Then we have Colton Cowser. He helped us win those first 2 World Series also early. Eventually we traded him away. Just, again, better options out there. We had Stephen Kwan. We went after Riley Green. There was different routes to go on that Colton Cowser was not going to find a spot, and he was continuing to get older, but I didn't have the faith in him turning into a superstar, and as far as I know, he really didn't, because I didn't hear anything about him or see anything about him from that point on. Then finally, in right field, Lawrence Butler. Just remember him being so clearly involved in those first 2 World Series as well. I don't think we held on to him for too long after that, but Lawrence Butler, great lefty bat, great right fielder. He really held that position down for those first 2 years, and he earned those 2 World Series rings with us. So that is the notables team. Like I said, not all these pitchers are going to be able to get in one game, so some of them might sneak in the next game. And if I honestly can't get them all in, to be honest, sorry, but they're not as important as some of the other people we've had to deal with. I don't know. I also have Porter Hodge in the pen, so we'll see if I switch back to the thing. I have this whole team here ready to go for our second to last game. Very different looking team. Kind of crazy that we had all these guys at one point in time. And I just have Cedric Mullins back on the bench, and then all these guys in the pen, or all these guys in the rotation, and then I just have Porter Hodge in the pen because he has not been used yet. But we still have one more team after this anyway, so we'll probably be able to get everyone working that we need to get working. Yeah, because we'll only have Porter Hodge and probably Cody Bradford left, I'm thinking. If we can get all the pitchers in this game, I might have to throw multiple of them in one inning if possible, just to fit them all into one game because I don't want to extend any more than I already have in this shit. So, yeah, this is the team we have going in. I'm going to try to actually, righty-lefty stagger them. Probably actually get Jason Churio in, the leadoff spot. Michael Bush, yeah. Geraldo Perdomo probably should also actually move up. God, it's hard. It's hard to actually pick, who should go where. Because, yeah, we also have Cal Raleigh, who could definitely be in here. Oh, man, it is tough. I think this will be the lineup right there. So, I'll see you guys in the second to last game with another big opponent. It's going to be an exciting one, especially with the guys we have. Yeah, 2 more to go. Alrighty, guys, second to last game here with the notable squad, and we are in Family Field? What the fuck is this place called? American Family Field, I think. We're playing the Brewers. That's all you need to know. Of course, we faced the Brewers twice in the World Series, and we beat them both times. But we're back in their stadium where we played in the 2026 World Series, which feels fitting for a lot of the guys on this team because they were on that roster. Colton Cowser, Jordan Westberg, Lawrence Butler, like all those guys were on the roster back then, so it's cool that we get to play here with them. Yeah, Christian Moore really just here to fill a roster slot, man. But hey, okay, he'll get a base hit even though he's a gold. And yeah, I think this team is interesting because we have a lot of variety in overalls and whatnot. So yeah, a little bit more of a fun piecemeal team compared to the really like all 99 team we put together as the Hall of Fame team. Yeah, and just get to use some of these guys that we didn't really remember having, like Geraldo Perdomo, and he's gonna get a base hit. And that's going to score a run, throw offline. So it's second and third, still no outs. And we have something going against Brandon Woodruff, who actually we played against in that final game of the 26 World Series. And he gave us trouble in that game. So we just knocked him out immediately in this three-inning little matchup. Pete Alonso gets a chance here. Ooh, swing and a miss. All right. Against Mears. Got big dumper on deck, too. Oh, Pete Alonso comes through. 2 runs will score. What a fun little Orioles squad this is already. 3 runs put up on the Brewers. We have Alonso come through there. And now Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. Can we get a big swing? All right, pitch outside. Michael Busch on deck. Yeah, two lefties in a row after this. Actually, I think it's, yeah, 2 lefties, a righty, and another lefty. Ah, Cal Raleigh's going to fly out. That's kind of the stuff we would see when he played with us. Damn it. Okay. Michael Busch steps in. Runner still on first. It's Alonso. And the crazy part, too, is that this is Alonso's last Mets card, man. He's going, well, not really. He could get a flashback in a future MLB The Show. But I'm saying, like, his live series, man, it's going to be an Orioles card, which is just insane to think about. Hopefully he'll play better in Camden Yards than he did in our franchise. But also don't play well because now I have to deal with you as a Yankees fan. All right, 2 on, 1 out.
Number 47.
Oh, bad swing from Butler. All right, 2 down. Dude, if we really got the 3, had runners on, and just can't get an extra, that would suck. Jordan Westberg gets a shot here, and I feel like I remember him being pretty important in that World Series, too. Oh, man, Westberg just absolutely crushed that one off the wall. That should score 2. Might be close play at home. Nope, they're not even going to go for it. 5-0. Yeah, we're going to have to really bring in a lot of pitchers this game, bro. Just to get everyone involved a little bit. Wow, good pitch there by Koenig. That cutter inside is dirty. Ooh, circle change inside. Yeah, Colton Cowser just not one of my favorites. But I think he had a big hit in this World Series as well. And you know he's going to come up with a hit there. And I'm going to send Westberg at 89 speed. He's in there, man. He's in there. 6-0. Alrighty. Got Jason Churio now. Yeah, like I said, I would have loved to have guys like Vladimir Campillo, but he's a fake draft guy. Dorian Soto, he's a prospect, doesn't have a card. He doesn't have like a pipeline card or anything.
The batter, the second Christian Moore.
Vance Honeycutt doesn't have a card this year, as far as I know, because he was very valuable a lot of the time too. Like I'd love to have more of those, younger guys, but they just don't have Diamond Dynasty cards, unfortunately. So we can only talk about them and remember them fondly. Did Christian Moore just go yard, bro? 82 overall Christian Moore off the pole. A 2-run shot. No, a 3-run shot. Christian Moore, I'm sorry I doubted you, buddy. 3-run shot, and it's 9-0 in the first inning.
Number 56.
With the notable squad, bro. This is crazy. Doing better than our main squad. Oop, that one runs in.
Ball one, no strikes.
Like I said, the final squad is probably going to be, like, very valuable players, but also I might do some fun ones that just have really souped up cards in the show. You know what I mean? Like we might get Judgy back. Might get Raleigh. Like, I really have to think about it. I got to make, like, a team of my favorite guys is pretty much what it's going to be as we go into the final game.
Got 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, this has just been such a fun celebration. Looking back on all the awards, all the stats of these guys throughout their careers as Orioles. And it's just been a really fun way to send off with a lot of actual gameplay, too, considering a lot of the franchise's spreadsheet stuff. And cracked into right by Perdomo. The team keeps hitting. It's only the first inning, so I don't want to pull anybody yet. Otherwise, I would have thought about going to Mullins to have a lefty. But no, we'll keep Alonso in. And he's going to keep the hitting going. Another knock. 2 on with 2 outs yet again. And Cal Raleigh gets another opportunity. And that one's going to end it finally. Damn, I thought it was going to sneak through and load the bags for Bush. That would have been sick. But we still put up 9 in the first. Christian Moore, oh man, 2 hits. I doubted you, buddy. And one of them's a big 3-run homer. And I get Kyle Bradish. He pitched for us, of course, in 2025, like I said. He played in that first game. He actually gave up those 4 runs to the Yankees. But then he was locked down for the rest of the game with plenty of strikeouts. And the offense backed him up well. Gets a broken bat there for Bryce Terang, who has speed, but we get the out in time. Jordan Westberg able to play the ball well. But yeah, with some of the guys on this notable squad and just being in the Brewers Stadium, I'm feeling super nostalgic for those early episodes. They were so much fun. I really can't believe I did this whole thing over the course of like a year, over the course of MLB The Show 25. And honestly, from some of the views and some of the people I've seen in chat and stuff, like some people did get kind of invested in the way it is, and hopefully it's a little more refined as we go into MLB 26. Still going to be mistakes here and there for sure. Like I said, I don't think I'll do heavy stat keeping like this anymore. But I don't know. I might try to keep a trade log like the Madden franchises for MLB 26, just because it is nice to know when we got guys a little more. I don't know. I have to wait and see. But shutdown inning from Bradish. We might try to get 2 pitchers in next inning. And 2 pitchers in the third. I don't know if it's a 3-batter minimum, so I might actually have to walk guys. And we have a pretty sizable lead to do so. So, it's going to be too bad. 2 pitches, 2 quick outs. Contact didn't even sound bad on either of them. Jordan Westberg. See what else he can do. Bad swing on a pitch that was way above the zone. So, 3 pitch, 3 quick outs. Not the offensive explosion like last time. Face Christian Yelich, and we will bring in Sandy Alcantara. So he'll get to pitch maybe 2 outs, and I'll bring in Matt Manning for the third. We'll have to see. Ooh, we got the strike 2 on Yelich.
No balls, 2 strikes.
And Sandy gets the strikeout. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is just the way it has to be because I don't have that much time to keep doing this, so I can't really extend any more games. So just try to get everyone in as best as I can. Cody Bradford will probably use in relief in the final game against a very special opponent. So Paul Skeens probably will only go 1 inning, but that's kind of been the standard, so it's not a big deal. But already Sandy does not get a second out and the throw off line, so that's tough. So this actually will be his 3rd batter regardless. If he can't get the out, that'll be rough.
0-1. 0-2.
Boom. Oh, okay. Stays alive. And this is the 99 Sandy, not the 93 from the summer series. Sandy's already tired. Okay, Sandy gets the strikeout. We like to see it. All right, that's going to do it for Sandy. Good to see him, buddy. And now we bring in Matt Manning. 72 overall bronze. He just needs to get 1 out here against Rhys Hoskins. And he's going to force the pop-up. So Matt Manning's short little appearance here should be enough. And it will be. Yeah, 9-0. We continue. Sandy has given up the only hit of the game. I'll give Colton Cowser another at-bat, but we're going to get to the third time of the through the lineup, so if we can find a spot for Mullins, we will put him in. Ooh, that's down the line. Is it going to fall fair? Going to get caught on the run, actually. Jackson Churio out there. All right, Jason. Gets a chance for center. Oh, he's 2 for 2. What's the lineup look like, actually? Christian Moore. Yeah, this might be the only chance for us to actually put in Mullins. I mean, Jason just put up 2 hits, so he did a good job. Let's get Mullins another AB in here. Oh, man, that would have been sick. And Mullins gets hit. Oh, man. No fun. Christian Moore again, 2 for 2 with a home run single, 3 RBIs today. We're going to miss through that. Mullins will be safe at second. So he at least gets a stolen bag. That's nice. Can he steal third? Gonna go for it. That one's outside, and Mullins easily takes third. So, gets hit with the pitch, and then takes 2 bases. Christian Moore has a chance for more RBIs. Christian Moore is gonna get hit. 2 on with 1 out now. Runners on the corners for Perdomo. Just don't want to ground to a double play here. And I swung at the pitch that would ground me into a double play like an idiot. Okay, well, that's fucking my fault. I'm sorry. But we still put up the 9, and we move on to the 3rd inning. Matt Manning, your time is done. It's going to be Quinn Priester. And Quinn Priester will get 1 away.
Quinn Priester.
I get 2 outs for Quinn, and if it is it's a minimum, I will just walk a guy. We'll be fine. Quinn Priester, yeah, just he was good for 1 time, and then he kind of just never was consistent, which is why we didn't hold on to him. But again, notable name, has a good card. We'll use him out here. And finally, we'll bring in Jared Jones to close out the game against the Brewers.
Now pitching. Jared.
Just getting everyone involved, and then we'll get Cody Bradford, Porter Hodge in 2 innings, I think. We'll probably split them. We'll probably split their inning, probably, the way we've been doing it in this game. Jared Jones closed it out, a 9-0 victory over the Brewers, continuing to be dominant. And yeah, we got 1 more game. I'm going to form our final team, and we are going to say sayonara officially, the Orioles franchise. So we got 1 more in the tank, 1 more team. Let's get it done. See you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, before we jump into the final game, I'm just showing you the final team of what is my favorite players, the guys I just really wanted on the team. So most of it kind of looks like the all-time team, like the Hall of Fame team. So I got Gunnar and Jackson Manning, those infield positions. Brian Reynolds, got to be at DH, bro. He was just so legendary. Kyle Teal, just because of his loyalty to the team, how much he stuck around. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in his 3-year deal really surprised me at first base, and I just want to add him too, as he's also a Hall of Famer. Same with Junior Caminero. He was with us for a short time, but he was just so good at third, and I wish we got to hold on to him longer. Riley Green, one of our longest tenured guys. Jazz Chisholm, just so we can use him a little bit more since we barely got to see him, and he was just one of my favorite players to have early on in the franchise. Jason Dominguez, again, one of our most loyal guys. Bench is looking like Cody Bellinger, because I just love Cody Bellinger. Aaron Judge, a really fun grab when he was 40 years old in the DH. Cedric Mullins, a longtime Oriole. And Roman Anthony, our other longest contract. And we are going to try and pinch hit all these guys at some point in the game. We got Paul Skeens for the final game, our ace, our longest pitcher contract we had in the franchise. Cody Bradford will get a chance just because he was part of the notables stat squad, but we didn't get to use him. And, of course, Porter Hodge. And, yeah, the rest of the guys don't really matter. We got Felix Batista to hopefully close things out. So, without further ado, the team is set. The lineup is set. I'll see you guys in the final game of Orioles franchise. All right, guys, here we are. The final game of Orioles franchise of the bonus episode, and you know who it has to be. We're in Dodger Stadium, baby. We're playing the Dodgers. We had to. The Dodgers were our biggest rival of the entire franchise, facing them in the World Series. I don't even know if I have to count, like, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the entire franchise. We faced the Dodgers in the World Series out of 9 appearances, so yeah, kind of crazy. They pretty much became our rival. Shohei on the mound, too, to face us, but we have to play the Dodgers for the final time because we got over them at every turn. And now we have to get over them one last time. Jason Dominguez leading off here, facing Shohei. Should be a good game. And the first pitch we see from Shohei, we'll get a base hit. Jason Dominguez doing Jason Dominguez things. Man, it's kind of crazy. This really will be the final game, but I just knew it had to be against the Dodgers for how much we saw them in the franchise. One last ride, man. Oh, I'm under that with Guerrero. I tried to get the PCI up, but I just couldn't in time. And still Guerrero gave it a ride all the way to the track. Gunnar Henderson now with an opportunity.
Batting third, the shortstop, Gunnar.
A bit right to the corner. Oh. Up and in instead of low and in. Dominguez at first. Damn, 0-2. Okay.
2 strikes.
Oh, I'm just under that. Wait, no, wait. Why did I send Dominguez? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, the worst double play. Oh, that's so embarrassing. That's not how you beat the Dodgers. Well, we got one hit. We fucked up the rest of it. But we got Paul Skeens on the mound for this first inning. Hopefully he has a shutdown inning against the Dodgers, man. Our ace of the staff finally makes his appearance. And we have some other pitchers we have to get in before this thing's all over. But otherwise, every single person on the list has made it into a game and will make it into a game for sure. And at least the other guys in the bullpen, if we need them in an extra innings game, are part of the roster so they could make another appearance. Let's hopefully lock this down. 1-1 on Hyesung Kim. Swing and a miss. And we got a strikeout with Skeens here. Popped up to right. All right. Well, I mean, I'll take another out. 2 away for Skeens. Now face Will Smith.
0-1's the count. Ah. 0-2's the count.
And the 0-2 fouled back. Come on, I want to tie up on the hands with a fastball, get the K. Yeah, we got the strikeout. Good inning from Skeens. He's fired up. And that's the appearance from Skeens. We might give him one more out, honestly. Yeah, let's get Brian Reynolds.
Pitching for the Dodgers, number 51.
Alex Vesia already replaced Shohei.
Tia.
Oh, in on the bat for Reynolds, unfortunately, because we faced the lefty. We bat on the right side, which I don't know if it's actually Reynolds' weaker side, but yeah. All right, we got Jazz now against the lefty. Ah, shoot. Ah, shoot.
0-1.
Damn. Dodgers have me right now. I don't know why I'm, like, nervous to play the Dodgers here in Conquest on Veteran.
1 ball.
Well, that one way outside. Oh, that's not going to get through, unfortunately. Yeah, Jazz can't beat that out either. All right, well, we get Junior Caminero. A shot with 2 down against the lefty Vesia. Take low. We just got to work it. Just go work the counts.
Ball 1,
Get some
no
good
strike.
swings. I'm batting 1,000 with Junior. Damn. Not anymore. I jinxed it. Fuck. 2 innings of nothing. All right, we'll give one more batter to Skeens, and it will be Freddie Freeman. Could be risky with the righty-lefty matchup. Let's just try to not give him anything stupid. 2 strikes to Freeman. All right, grounded to third. Caminero with the spinning scoop and makes the play to Guerrero. All right, now we switch it up. And we are going to go to Cody Bradford for likely 1 out.
Cody.
Looks different than when we used him in 26. But hey, man, he pitched that World Series, pitched his heart out, and we got a dub, even though it wasn't the greatest performance. So we'll get him in here for the 1 out. Yeah, nice job, Cody. Now Max Muncy. So I really want to go. I should have went Porter Hodge, Cody, but now I'm taking a risk going righty lefty, and especially with it being Max Muncy. Oh, I got that called strike. Let's go, Porter. Foul back. Yeah, unfortunately, the only one that can't make an appearance is JoJo Ingrassi because I was stupid and fucked that up. But Porter Hodge strikes out Max Muncy. So the lefty gets out the righty gets out the lefty, and it's still scoreless. So third, let's do it.
Now pitching for the Dodgers.
Emmett Sheehan will face Jackson in the 7 spot. And we'll start subbing some guys, man.
Ball 1.
Well, I have to still let Green and Teal hit before I can actually sub guys, so. And Jackson's going to ground that to Betts at short. 1 down. Riley Green with a shot here. He's got to string together a few hits. Oh. This one's actually going to be our hardest game, and I think it's because I'm in my head. Yeah, that's grounded to fucking second, bro. The all-time team not doing better than the notable squad. Come on, Kyle. Come on, Kyle. Keep it going. I swung on a bad pitch. Oh, man. We're going to we're going bottom third. We're going bottom third. All right, leave Porter Hodge in for now, then. Shit. We're going to see some reappearances from other players. Can't predict going into this territory, though, so.
0-2 is the count.
Strike 3. Nice. 1 away.
Ball. That's inside.
In on Edmund. Porter, just 1 more out, probably. I'm sure he's getting tired. Nice.
1 ball.
Get him with the low sweeper. That was hung a little more than I wanted it to be. Fouled away. God. Oh, man. Hodge just can't get this out right now. Getting kind of sketchy. Rounded to second. There we go. Holiday with the out. 2 away. We got Alex Call as a righty. I guess we'll leave Hodge in for a full inning of relief. Otherwise, we're going to have to go to some other guys out of the pen. I think we still have, like, Evan Phillips, though. I think we have Morahone. So we do have some good guys on this one. Just hoping he can get Call at the bottom. Oh, swing and a miss, but it goes all the way to the thing. Kyle Teal's not going to get it in time, man. That's so rough. Bad misplay by Kyle Teal, especially when his defense, I think, was one of his most valuable assets. Yeah, I'm going to just go to Evan Phillips now. Because it's Andy Pajes, and we need the diamond versus diamond. I'm scared. Don't want him to walk it off. Fastball tied in on the hands. Come on. Let's go. Evan Phillips. Nice. And he's going to have plenty of stamina for next inning. Let's get something going now. Okay, first up, we have... Oh, it's a righty, so they probably want to keep Dominguez in. We'll go Cody Bellinger here. We'll go Cody Bellinger here.
Pinch hitting, Cody Bellinger.
And then actually I can pinch hit Guerrero for Judge.
Ball.
If I want to. And then I can have Bellinger and Judge switch positions. 2-0.
Inside.
2-0 on Belly. Bellinger with a perfect. Hold up at third, though. Runners on the corners. 25th hit with that Bellinger card. Nice. I haven't really played Diamond Dynasty as much in recent.
Ball.
I actually could... No, because Mullins can't play anything. Could put Roman Anthony in. And then switch Bellinger and Roman Anthony. Yeah, let's do that.
Pinch hitting.
Bring Roman Anthony in now.
Anthony.
With the infield inning, they might not cover. Okay, well, they did, but it's fine. Bellinger actually stole the bag. So now a base is open. Double play is off, which is good. The first time we've been in extras with the Dodgers, man. Roman Anthony with a looper. We are going to tag there. Send Bellinger back to second. Okay, the ball got misplayed by Will Smith. Perfect. And we got a sac fly run in. Well, Gunner's obviously staying in this situation. Bad swing. What am I doing? Oh, it's so bad. Screw it. I'm going to pinch hit
Now coming in
Reynolds for Judgy.
Aaron Judge.
Oh, no. It's going to be a line out. That's wild. Good pitch and everything. Okay, switch Roman Anthony and Bellinger. There we go. So now we have everyone in where they need to be. Gonna leave Evan Phillips in for a 1 out. Green, make the play. Oh my God, he did. Wow, Riley Green flashing the leather. All right, I'm taking a risk with a guy I struggle with, but we got to bring in Felix Bautista to try to close this one out. Let's hope he doesn't blow the save, because that would be really sad. 2 strikes on Smith.
No ball, 2 strikes.
Popped up right side, foul ground. Anthony is not going to get there. Grounded to third. That'll keep the runner at second. Camanero's got it over the first. 2 down. Felix Bautista 1 out away from closing out Orioles franchise, and he's got to face Freddie Freeman. Waves through the fastball.
0-1. That's a ball. I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Foul ball. Close there. Batista deals. Strike 3. Freezes Freeman. That's going to do it. We beat the Dodgers in 4 innings. A 1-0 victory. Wow. So we get a clean sweep across the board. 2 extra innings games. 1 in mini seasons, 1 against the Dodgers. But otherwise, across the board, we only gave up 2 runs in total today. While scoring, that's 10. That is another 7, so 17 plus 9, 26 plus 1. 27 total runs in 21 innings. Pretty good. And that is going to be the end of things. Let's get out of here. But Felix Bautista close it out. Bellinger, Jason Dominguez, they come through. And we get to see a little bit across all these games, all the players that made the Orioles franchise so special. So yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for joining me for Orioles franchise. As I said in the last actual part, this was just a fun little bonus video to add on to celebrate all the players, like I said, that make Orioles franchise so special. This recording went on way longer than I expected to, but either way, still a good time to use all these players, see them in Diamond Dynasty, see their cards, see how they differ from how they progressed in franchise, get to go over the history of all these guys throughout the Orioles franchise. Yeah, this was just such a blast. I'm so glad I got to do it. Thank you guys so much for joining me with MLB 25. I'm looking forward to MLB 26 and the next franchise we do, like I said, between 2 teams. So going to be a bit till I decide, of course. But yeah, we're between the final 2. We'll figure out what it's going to be. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the Orioles franchise as much as I did, and I can't wait to see you guys in MLB 26 and anything else I do. Plenty of other stuff on the channel. We do Madden occasionally. I do some other other sports games occasionally, but I also do a lot of non-sports stuff, horror content, shooter games, RPGs. There's variety, so much stuff. So check out all that stuff on the Hey It's Joe B Vibes channel if you want. Edited horror content is on my main channel, Hey It's Joe B. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for joining me for Orioles franchise. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in MLB 26.